You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Behind the back! Are you serious? No hesitation on the shot. Ms. Rice feeling it. Make it 3 for 3. And Ciolino, see you later. Here's a chance for Sias, and there's a shot and a goal. Will Spare will take it all the way. Touchdown Seahawks. The extra look and the goal. A gorgeous goal by Welcome live to Oceanside High School, where this afternoon the undefeated Sailors of Oceanside take on the undefeated Chiefs of Massapequa. This Nassau Conference 1 showdown is the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We'll send it down to the field for the playing and the singing of the national anthem here on Homecoming at Oceanside. Dylan Butler here with Mike Hungerford for perhaps the game of the year in Nassau County. It's hard to say right in week 4, but it is a rematch of last year's Nassau Conference 1 championship game, won right here on this turf by Massapequa. They've not faced each other since. Question is it revenge? Certainly the Oceanside guys upset about that loss. They'd like to win here. It's homecoming. The back of the shirts for homecoming say beat Pequa. For Massapequa, Kevin Shippos, the head coach, says, look, it is week 4. We're just trying to get better each week. You really can't get revenge unless it's a playoff game and a championship game. But either way, a lot of things to talk about, a lot of fun here this afternoon, Mike.
One of those games that's been circled for a very long time on the schedule, right? When the schedule came out, probably the number 1 game in the conference is circle. Rematch, you said, of a championship game with the two teams. And, it is only week 4, though, so we can pump the brakes a slight bit, because there's going to be a lot of football to be played before and after it to see where we all head up to the end of the season in week 11. But, right now, these are the 2 top teams in the conference, probably playing the best of all the teams in the conference. And we'll see what happens on the field today.
2 teams that are 3-0 and 2 teams led by really explosive quarterbacks. So let's take a look at our impact players. First, for the Chiefs of Massapequa, and Ryan Heydrich had very big shoes to fill, Mike, taking over the position for John Giller, who was spectacular last year. Heydrich, a low-key, smart kid. He does all of the little intangible things. You see his numbers already thrown for 654 yards, 6 touchdowns. 266 yards on the ground, 4 touchdowns. So he's that dual threat that Kevin Shippos loves out of his quarterbacks.
Sure, Massapequa traditionally, Gillett did a great job last year and leading them to the championship. But that dual threat quarterback, the run pass guy, Massapequa's been leaning on that for a while. They probably run their quarterback more than any team in the conference.
Heydrich is third in Nassau County on the passing list. Number 1 on that list is our impact player for Oceanside. Somewhere in the middle of that scrum, there you see 7 with the football, Charlie Mckee, Stony Brook bound quarterback. He's been the guy here at Oceanside. Rob Blount's 2 years ago pronounced he was the best quarterback to ever play here at Oceanside, or certainly for him, but his numbers outstanding. The reigning Thorpe Award winner is Charlie Mckee, and certainly as Mckee goes, so do the Sailors this afternoon.
Absolutely. Charlie Mckee, last year's Thorpe Award winner, a top returning player in the county. Well, I think some guys at Garden City would say they have a couple guys who are very, very good as well, and so did Massapequa. But he's the returning award winner, and not too often the junior wins the award. And he's very good. And obviously, as you said, they will go as he goes. And he now has become a run-pass option as well, and he's been running the ball a lot more as of late. They have a big offensive line in front of him, and I think Coach Blount is just wants to win a championship. He's determined with the squad to win. And obviously McKee is the guy who has got to be the trigger man to get it done.
See those numbers again, 49, 61, 664, 9 touchdowns, just the 1 interception. He's carried the ball 15 times for 110 yards and 4 touchdowns. Charlie Mckee, we've talked about him, it feels like, for years, right? A 4-year starter here at Oceanside. This is his year to bring that championship back to Oceanside. Huge crowd on hand here, and they were on hand for a good, you'd have to say, 2 hours before kickoff. Just a terrific atmosphere, a wonderful afternoon as well. We're so glad you're able to join us on the Orland and Cone Game of the Week. It's Oceanside in the white, kicking off from right to left.
Always a breeze here, Dylan, down Oceanside, close to the water. And right now the wind appears to be blowing, I guess you would call it, out of the north towards the south, I would guess, or southeast.
Yeah, I'm not a meteorologist.
Across the field a little bit, that may be a factor in the game. Because there's a pretty good wind. The flag's pretty stiff right now.
Frank Maurizio to kick off, and here we go. That one is fielded by Rob Blount. I'm not sure if he called a fair catch on that or not, but certainly the flags fly, and Massapequa seems to be content with taking the football and not having them re-kick and start at their own 35-yard line. They start again with Ryan Heydrich at the QB spot. And again, he's a guy who makes a lot of the good decisions. The funny thing about Heydrich, too, is Shippo says sometimes he's so low-key, Mike, that he's like, are you listening, Ryan? Like, are you with us? He's like, hey, I'm good. Just real quick. But you want that in a QB. You don't want the guy to be too crazy, and Heydrich is that guy for the Chiefs. So first down from the 35-yard line, Heydrich in shotgun, and already some movement offensively for Massapequa. Heydrich, plenty of time, goes over the middle, almost intercepted, went in and out of the hands of Lyson. Incomplete pass. Let's take a look at those starters on offense for Massapequa. And again, we mentioned, right, Heydrich starting there. You've got D'Alessandro at running back. Your wide receivers are Jake Cialino, Howes, Fountain, and Nugent. Up front, you've got Devos, Wakely, DeVenzo, Menachini, and Meany. So pass interference was the call, which moves Massapequa up to the 50-yard line.
Yep, Dylan, he tried to get to Cialino right away on the first play, and they got the hands on him a little early.
Heydrich, quarterback option, runs out of bounds. A good run there on first down, and he'll look to move the chains. Let's take a look at the Oceanside defense. Their starters. Up front, you've got Rossler. Moskovich is a change there at nose tackle. Miller is your other D-end. You've got Hickam, Lyson, Broderick, and McCann as linebackers. McCormick and Hosane as your corners, and Mecca and Kramer at safeties. So he didn't move the chains. It's 2nd and 1. A gain of 9. Option goes to D'Alessandro. Strong run by the senior. Pushed forward for the first down and some more.
Dylan D'Alessandro coming back from injury last year, pretty significant injury, and he's one of the best, I would say, best offensive players in the conference. I really like what he looks like on film. Very athletic and gets downhill pretty fast, and trapping it up there and trying to get the first down downhill.
Gain of 8 for D'Alessandro, who's got 31 carries, 128 yards, and 5 touchdowns on the year. That's Fountain motioning out to the left. Heydrich. Again, good legs on Heydrich. He's got some good size too, right? 6'3", 205 for the Pequa QB.
What makes Massapequa very difficult is they have no issue running the quarterback as a running back. Some people call it, wildcat and stuff, but they treat him like a running back, and they gain a blocker. Like we saw last night, we're out of Sayville. We saw them using a quarterback who ran the ball. Young man out there right now, not quite a bit. In the same way, Massapequa is going to run the ball with the quarterback a lot, and they get an extra man in the box because the running back becomes a blocker or a decoy. 2nd
and 5. That's Cialino. Jet sweep. Flag on the play. And this will be an offensive holding penalty. For a game like this, Mike, that is certainly one of the most anticipated of the year, you want to have a great crew, and we've got arguably the best in Nassau County today.
They got Bob Miller and his crew in the game, one of the very best crews in the county, one of the best crews on Long Island, and they've been together for a long time, and they do a really, really good job, and they threw a couple flags already, but they're going to call they're going to call the obvious. I believe when you have a crew of this ability, and they're going to try to stay out of the game as best they can, and only impact the game when things are obviously happening.
Yeah, we saw Bob Miller's crew last week on our Orland and Cone Game of the Week. We were out at Syosset, where the Braves, on their homecoming, defeated Freeport. So they'll push the ball back to the 36-yard line. 2nd and 10.
Massapequa lining up with a dummy cadence, trying to get the defense to expose themselves what they're going to get every time.
Heydrich in the air over the middle. That's complete to Fountain. Fountain, a good-looking junior, 5'11", 175, a 2-year starter. That good compliment to Cialino, that good 1-2 punch for the Chiefs.
He's got good hands. Fountain runs very good routes, and you see a little stop route right there, a little sit down, steal a few yards, and give them a pretty manageable 35, probably 2-down territory here from the 31 going in.
Quick look over the shoulder.
There's a chess match, Dylan, right? Defense is looking over, offense is looking over. What are we calling? What are we running?
Heydrich rolls right, under pressure, throws it, complete. And that's a first down and a little bit more as well. Good reception by Johnny Honor.
Good play call there by the Chiefs, and they came with a little flood to the right to the wide side of the field, a little 3-level flood. And I think the flat defender from Oceanside went for the quarterback, opened up a little bit, and they made a good tackle, but just enough to get the first down and keep the ball moving.
Yonner, that jack of all trades for the Chiefs this year, he's a blocking tight end. They release him, as you saw there, on passes as well. You remember him as well from last year. Caught that big 2-point conversion in the championship game, which extended Massapequa's lead from 5 to 7, which was the final score. D'Alessandro, some tough yards up the middle.
Massapequa is going to use a lot of 11 personnel with the tight end in the game, and sometimes 11 personnel, sometimes it's at least one tight end in the game most of the time, and sometimes an H-back in the game as well to get that downhill running game going with the power and with the power game.
Chiefs down to the 16 now, 2nd and 6. Heydrich, quick release into the flat, nice turn, and that's Cialino, the senior. Funny thing about Cialino, we have that call on Varsity Media. You see it even on our commercials. That game last year against Freeport, the Cialino see you later. Well, that was also his coming out party a year ago as his first game on varsity, and Cialino has become now, as you see him there, 15, one of the top receivers in Nassau County, certainly statistically, 15 receptions, 385 yards, and 5 touchdowns.
That's a great, nice play right there. Just getting Cialino the ball in space and trying to get him some yards, get him touches, right? Get him receiver touches in many ways as possible.
3rd and 3 from the 13-yard line. Heydrich. It's pulled down. Looks to be short. Kramer on the tackle. Ronnie Kramer, his 5th tackle of the year.
Good tackle by Kramer right there, getting a good wrap up. And I think he kept the quarterback there from leaning forward and trying to get that first down. Heydrich, he didn't let him get any lean. Kind of ran to the boundary there, Massapequa. I guess they felt they had better numbers there into the boundary, short side of the field. They had a tight end and an H to the wide side.
So they'll have to change that stick, right? Because it's listed as 3rd down, right? But this should be 4th down. Oh, it's a penalty there, right, on Massapequa.
Referees are busy already, Dylan. At one of these kind of games, Dylan, I think you want to make sure you have both teams are doing the right things, and you keep the game under control, and a lot of emotions and a lot of excited people, a lot of excited kids here. So
we're changing the time on the clock. The bottom right of your screen, it will be changed to 8 minutes and 24 seconds.
3rd down and 8 here now, Dylan. Only yard, a 5-yard penalty against Massapequa that moves the ball back a little bit.
D'Alessandro on the handoff. Jukes left. He stopped at about the 15. And this is what you were saying, decision time here. Certainly you would think you go for it here on 4th down, especially considering your field position.
Dylan, one of the interesting parts of both these teams, they use a lot of formations, right? And there you saw Massapequa, another one of their formations, 3 receivers and a tight end to one side of the field, and they ran the ball away from it, trying to get better numbers.
4th and 6, and Kevin Shippos will talk things over. Timeout by the Chiefs.
So Massapequa came out, Dylan, so far, and they've tried to establish a running game, a couple of short passes to get completions, keep the drives moving, and they've driven down now inside about the 16-yard line. So it's a good start, I would say, for Massapequa. And now you have Oceanside. If they can get a stop here on 4th down and get the ball back, good momentum swing coming out for their first possession.
See the head coach for somewhere in that scrum, right, of all those jerseys, is Kevin Shippos in his 11th season at head coach from not too far from here, right? Baldwin, 1997, a 4-year wrestler and football player, a 2-time All-County football player, wrestled at Penn State as well, worked his way up to the position, was a volunteer assistant for a while, phys ed teacher in 2005, was the defensive coordinator of the junior varsity in 2008, and he's taken this program and run with it. And obviously they are also the reigning champions in Nassau Conference 1. It was their 8th trip since, I think, 97, 98, which was the last time they won a championship in the final, and they were able to win again. So here we go. Off the timeout, 4th and 6. Heydrich rolls left. He's got protection, and that's complete for the first down. Who else but Cialino?
Great route, and a nice throw by Heydrich, getting his feet in bounds. A little comeback route, it looks like there by Cialino, just battling back into the sideline. And Massapequa's trying to go faster a little bit.
1st and goal from the 5. Heydrich lowers the shoulder, barrels himself forward, and he gets to, it appears, the 4. Big Matty Rossler on the tackle, 3-year varsity player, D-end. He's only 6'6", 240.
A lot of big people on both lines of scrimmage here. Dylan, down we have down second and goal here now. They ran the quarterback on first down. See what they bring here.
He goes again.
Power
Heydrich cuts
again.
it inside, and he's stopped at the goal line. It looked like he had a seam. You see Lice in there, 6, as part of that group to make the tackle.
You see right there, Dylan, Massapequa, one of their base run plays down by the goal line is power, and they pull that guard, they bring that right guard around and try to pound it in there. Jake Mckee tried to pound it in there with him.
Oh, it's a motion. It'll be a false start against Massapequa. They'll push them back. So you could see Bob Miller motion how close they were to the end zone, but now you push them back 5 yards. A really tough penalty for Massapequa, certainly considering the field position. And you're on third down now.
Definitely could maybe see some kind of a play action pass happening here or some kind of a sprint.
You got Cialino lined up to the left. There he is, in and out of his hands. He cut towards the quarterback, and then he hooked back out to the outside. Incomplete pass.
They tried to use the motion to turn into a bit of a whip route and get him a step on the defender, and the ball, Heydrich, the ball floated a little bit and couldn't get on target. Good defense there by Massapequa. They took a defensive end out of the game and brought Staltera, an extra big body up front, so it's man on a man up there on the line of scrimmage.
So here we go. Heydrich, 4th and goal from the 6. Touchdown, Massapequa. D'Alessandro, the reception.
Tough play to defend down the goal line there, right there, with a little bit of play action, a little jump pass almost by Heydrich.
So 6-yard touchdown pass. And it's Alex Chilemi, the freshman, on for the PAT. Chilemi's kick is up, and it is good. So what a first series for Massapequa. You do a few things there, right, Mike? You move the ball, you move the chains, you get the clock down, you have the ball for half of the first quarter, which means that Charlie Mckee doesn't have it for half of the first quarter, and then you also find the end zone.
Yes, I mean, if you're Massapequa and you're Coach Shippos, you couldn't have probably a better script for the first series of, could we score on the first play? Well, no, we want to use the time a little bit, right? They've used just about half the quarter, 5 minutes and 55 seconds they've used in the first quarter, and they establish a running game. They established a running game with the quarterback and with D'Alessandro a little bit. They established a passing game, getting Cialino some touches, right? So a lot of things that they probably wanted to get themselves established with, they were able to do in the first series. And more importantly, great environment here at Oceanside, right? And the home fans are all excited, and you kind of calm the home fans down a little bit if you're the visiting team and kind of get you guys settled in.
One of the fun matchups, the kind of games within the game, are these two wide receivers we'll show you now. Cialino and Richie Hossein. Hossein in the first year transferred in from St. Anthony's. Look at that, 1 and 3 in the conference in receiving are those two guys. They've been battling from Mustangs and the PAL and for a long time coming. Two similar seniors, and what's cool too is they're both corners as well. So we'll hopefully see a lot of that one-on-one matchup between Cialino and Hossein.
I would tell you right now, Dylan, I really think our conference, the Conference 1, the Conference A, has got a lot of good receivers in it. A lot of them here today. Syosset, Matt Farmingdale, Freeport, all have good receivers.
And the Pequa kick also bounces out of bounds. So both kickoffs to start the game for both teams go out of bounds, which will give both teams' offense the chance at the 35. And we mentioned him before. Charlie Mckee leading the way. He's also chasing a little bit of history as well as Mckee. Again, when you are a quarterback, as long as you are, you start to chase some of these numbers, right? Look at the career passing numbers. He's 7th all-time in New York State. You see the Nassau record held by Joe Capobianco out of Lawrence High School, and Jack Cohn, who were out in his neck of the woods last night in Sayville, the Long Island record. Not sure he's going to touch that Long Island record for touchdowns, certainly, or even Capobianco's Nassau record of 100. But those passing yards, I think, is certainly something Nassau-wise that Mckee will lay claim to before the end of this season. So 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Mckee in shotgun. Pump fakes again. That's incomplete. Far sideline. Let's take a look at those starters for Oceanside. Mckee, Cairo is your running back. Your wide receivers are Lyson, Kramer, Mecca, and Hossein. Up front, Broderick, Diaz, Corvino, Stalter, and Alvarez. We'll see a steady diet, too, of Matty Rossler at wide receiver, and expect to see a bunch of Nick Ebel as well. One of those scat receivers that Rob Blount loves to employ. 2nd and 10 from the 35-yard line. We are midway through this first quarter. It's the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network. There is Mecca. Shifty, but stopped by the Massapequa defense for a loss. And let's take a look at those starters defensively for Massapequa. Up front, you've got Wakely, Davinzano, Menachini. Your linebackers are Yanner, Valentine, D'Alessandro, and Howes. In the secondary, it's Cobbs and Jake Cialino at corners. Your safeties are Ryan Fountain and Luke Cialino. Loss of 1 on the play, 3rd and 11. That's Cairo to Mckee's right. Fakes the handoff. Pressure comes. Mckee wrapped up. No. Wrapped up again. This time he's sacked. Dylan Wakely. Although you've got to give a lot of credit as well, Mike, to Menachini. He's the guy who had Mckee wrapped up initially, and then Wakely finished him off.
Yeah, good pressure up front right away. It looks like Oceanside was trying to run an inside screen to the back there, and he was covered by the linebacker, I believe, and they couldn't throw it there, and play kind of breaks down from there. And you see how hard, though, it is to get Charlie Mckee on the floor. He's put a lot of size on Charlie over his career. He's a big man, and that's a good job getting him down.
6'1", 205, and a really good punt as well. Backs Cialino up, and he's just going to let that one roll, and it takes a big Oceanside roll at that inside the Massapequa 20. That's that's one of your favorite stats.
Well, I think right there, the punt was, high school punting could be very questionable if it's up in the air, how you can catch it, But that was a pretty catchable punt. But I think between Cialino and the other returner, they didn't have good communication as to, someone's got to be the tower back there, right? Me, you. And there wasn't great communication there, and they lost another additional probably 15 yards on the hit and roll, and a nice punt by Charlie Mckee, who he can punt too. He can do a bit of everything.
Yeah, and then, of course, too, you've got to play the fake always with him punting the football. That's one of the things you like to have with your QB being your punter as well. Heydrich's leading his team back on the field. How about this for his first drive? 5 of 6 for 36 yards and a touchdown. And, again, also showing that other option, right, as the runner. So you've got to play that as well.
Sure, he's going to run the ball quite a bit.
1st and 10 from the Chiefs' 19. Inside handoff to D'Alessandro.
Little cross zone action there. Not much doing. Good defensive line play there by Oceanside.
Broderick with the tackle. One of the more physical players for Oceanside. 6th tackle of the year.
Gotta love Joey Broderick. Heart and soul kind of guy,
That was a 59-yard punt, by the way, for Mckee. Pump fake. Down low, nearly picked off. And it ends up, it looks like, in the hands of Menachini. And, yes, he is an ineligible receiver downfield.
I'm going to have some illegal touching there, as they call it, right?
And actually, it looks like they wave it. You see Bob Miller it took a deflection first before it landed in Menachini's hands.
Correct. They're going to call a deflection. Third down, trying to run an inside screen there again, and you had the Oceanside lineman sort of rushed, kind of sniffed it out, and the linebackers were kind of on it, so not successful there, and that could have gone very bad, but or very good, depending on what side of the field you're cheering for.
Honestly, too, I think even if that was a flag, considering sort of where you are and what you got out of the quote-unquote reception, I think even if you're Blount, you maybe would decline that. So they are going to throw the penalty after that discussion. So they will push the Chiefs back.
You can see right there, they were playing defense right there, and Coach Blount's not the defensive coordinator, but he was over here in the sidelines talking with Charlie Mckee, going over some film, and he had to sprint over. Thank God, Coach Blount's still in good shape.
Listen, he gets his steps in on game day. There's no doubt.
Gets his steps in at home with his 5 children. I'll tell you that much. He's a trooper. He's a busy man. But he came running over, and I think they took the penalty, I guess.
Yeah.
Or they declined it. And based where the ball was, it's third down now.
From the 15. Here comes a pressure from Miller. Over the middle. Incomplete. Great defending by Mckee, as he was on Cialino. Here you see it again. Watch first from the edge. Here comes Miller.
Yeah, trying to get him up the seam there, but a great coverage by Mckee. But that ball's almost got to get put either roped in or thrown a little bit higher over the defender. And Heydrich throws a pretty easy to catch ball, just not perfectly thrown there, and that's going to be a tough ball to complete.
So like Oceanside, your punter for Massapequa is also your quarterback. It is Heydrich, who will punt it from his own 2-yard line. Good snap. Gets the punt off, backing up, and a fair catch was called. So good job punting as well there for Heydrich. Ronnie Kramer was backed up a few yards.
Great job by Kramer with the fair catch. There's the difference right there, right? He probably saves a few yards. Really nice punt by Heydrich, but a lot of height. One of the most catchable punts, cool punts.
There you see in that Oceanside huddle is the aforementioned head coach Rob Blount, 2001 graduate of Lawrence. He's now the all-time leading wins leader here at Oceanside. Broke that in week 1. You see 87 and 35, so he's chasing his 100th win. And so much of what we see here today is his doing. He's done a great job of just building the program, and a lot of his catchphrases, right? Like burn the boat, and here's Mckee.
Great job by the Massapequa defense. What you see right there is they go with 2 tight ends and an H-back right there with a tight end with Rossler and with Weiss and Logan and Logan Lyson and another player on the tight end, and they're overloaded. They're going to run the quarterback there, and Massapequa owned up to it right there.
Yeah, those are big dudes. Lyson 6'3", 225, and then Rossler 6'6", 240.
One Oceanside's big advantages, Dylan, is the size of their skill players. They have some smaller skill players who are very quick and fast, but they have some big skill guys.
2nd and 9, over the middle. That's complete. Nice sidestep. Another one as well. Before tackled from behind is Kramer.
Yep. Might want to call that maybe an RPO look there or a look screen. They ran bubble outside, and they run him up the seam with a play action thrown in, and now they're going to go fast.
First down from the 33-yard line. Cairo comes in. Mckee positions him to his right hip. Fumbles a snap quickly. Mckee, though, backs up, throws left. That's complete down this left sideline, and that one goes to Michael Mckee. One thing Mckee does well, Mike, is he shares the wealth. And you can't say there's one lead guy, right? Maybe Hossein in terms of his stats, but everybody in terms of these receivers are getting a touch.
Well, he's going to scan the field. He's very well coached. He's going to go for his primary read to his secondary read to his check down all the time. And I believe if you can't get him off his spot, like right there, he was off the spot a little bit because he fumbled the snap a little bit. But if you don't get him off his spot, you will not be able to get to him.
2nd and 1. Mckee again with the pressure. Mckee ducks out of it. Still looking. Complete. What a pass on his back foot. And we move the football again.
He's got a flag down here, Dylan. I think what you have is you're going to have them calling him beyond the line of scrimmage when he threw that ball.
Yeah, let's see. You see him duck out. I think you're right. Oh, he was right at the 25.
Or they're going to call a lineman downfield, one or the other.
So it was complete to Cairo, but Bob Miller makes the call.
Got the legal man downfield, it appears to be. But you see his escapability right there. Massapequa got a little pressure, got him off his mark, but he's able to run around a little bit and make a play and keep the play alive. And look right there. He didn't think about running with that football. He was trying to find an open man. Shoulders are squared, ball's in the right spot. You know, you can see how well coached he's been over his career by Coach Blount and the staff here at Oceanside.
Yeah, Rob Blount himself a terrific quarterback in his days. .29-yard line, they'll back up. Still 2nd down. Low snap. Mckee goes end zone and nearly finding. It looked like that was Ebel.
I think that's a classic. I didn't see what happened down shallow, but that's a classic Oceanside combo. Is that bubble go look, right? One guy shows bubble, the other guy looks like he's going to block and then goes. That bubble go is dangerous because they will throw the bubble and you got to rally to it, and guys got to be in the right places. They had it, just couldn't hook it up.
Ebel's got 5 receptions on the year and a touchdown as well. Shifty, smart receiver, and Blount's able to put him in a lot of different motions, a little different spots on the field as well. 3rd and 6 for Oceanside. Cairo motions out to the right. Mckee checks to him, goes himself, and he's taken down at about the 28-yard line. Tackle made by Michael Valentine. Valentine's a good story, Mike. A linebacker, and Shippo says he sees it a lot out of Massapequa. A guy who played when he was younger, didn't play his sophomore and junior year. He's a defenseman on the Massapequa lacrosse team. Kind of focused his concentration there, and then as a senior came back and has provided a good spark out of that middle linebacker spot.
Coach Shippo says it gets better every week, right? One of those guys with continuous improvement, a good athlete, good player.
4th and 5.
Previous down, Dylan, they motioned the back out of the backfield, trying to get maybe Massapequa to empty the box a little bit, and they ran a draw, and the Massapequa guys kind of sat there and watched it. Very interesting.
Mckee. Good protection over the middle. Touchdown! Michael Mckee on 4th down.
I don't know, Dylan. They may be calling that incomplete.
We looked at the official downfield, right? He called touchdown. Let's watch it again. You see Mckee look end zone. There's Mckee. You see the call there in the end zone.
I don't think he came down with possession of the ball there, Dylan. What the side judge deep kind of saw that and called it incomplete. He had a lot of time there, though. Not a lot of pass rush. Massapequa chose to go coverage with limited rush.
So it will be an incomplete pass.
Well thrown ball right there. That's where you can see the brilliance of Charlie Mckee right thrown. Not too many high school guys can throw that ball in there like that. And that was a nice, well thrown ball, but they couldn't get him off the spot, right? They couldn't get him off the spot. And I hung in there, and Pequa has a choice. You're either going to rush and see if you can get him off the spot, or you can go coverage. They went coverage there, it looked like.
So off the turnover on downs, Massapequa with the football. 1st and 10 from the 28. They run the ball towards us, up the sideline. That's Luke Cialino, twin brother of Jake Cialino.
Good tackle by Broderick right there, scraping off and getting to the football, but a solid gain on 1st down by another Cialino.
Yeah, well, Luke provides that that dual threat with D'Alessandro. Now, they're not going to have them both in the backfield at the same time, but he spells D'Alessandro well. D'Alessandro back in now, runs left, and gets maybe a yard, if that, pushed back by that big front of Oceanside.
D'Alessandro's your downhill guy, right? He's your hammer. He's going to be a downhill square pass he can get inside runner.
Yeah, D'Alessandro's a guy who's coming off a ruptured spleen in week 5 of last year. We'll tell more about D'Alessandro when we come back. That's the end of the first quarter. It's the Orland and Cone Game of the Week. You're watching it right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Welcome back to Oceanside. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here. This has been a fun series. Certainly it's one of the more anticipated games of the regular season. We see a lot of postseason matchups. Here's the all-time series, 43 meetings. Massapequa with a slight edge, 23-19. Since 2010, Oceanside has a 10-5 lead. That first meeting was a 1-point win by Oceanside. The most recent ended that spring season a year ago, won dramatically by Massapequa, 36-29. Timmy Morrow with the winning touchdown run, one of 3 touchdowns on the afternoon for Morrow. 3rd and 2 as we start the second quarter. Heydrich, will he get the push? No, he is pushed backwards. And looks like it's right back to the line of scrimmage. That line of Oceanside doing a great job. And again, it's Rossler, Moskovich, and Miller.
Kind of ran at Matty Rosser right there. He's an imposing figure to run at. Very difficult to get the yards you need. It's 4th and short. Look like they're going to punt the football here at Massapequa.
Deep for, this would be Kramer, right? 22. It's hard. He and Ebel are so similar, but I think that is Kramer who is deep. Only one man deep. Heydrich's punt. It's another good one. Right at right at the down man, and he nearly fumbled the football, Kramer that is, and spun, and the coverage was there pretty quickly.
And who makes the tackle? Ciolino. High school football, play both ways, right? You're a corner, you're a receiver, you're a great athlete. You're on punt. Get the job done. If you want to win, the game here at Oceanside against the number 1 seed, and you need guys to make plays like that.
First quarter numbers from Mckee, 2 of 5 for 28 yards. He also ran the ball 3 times for 10 yards as well. His two completions were to Kramer and Mckee. Kramer with the big one for 19 yards. Oceanside, 1st and 10 from the 30. They trail Massapequa 7-0. The last few meetings have been of the high-scoring variety. This, so far, the rare low-scoring game. Mckee checks, goes the opposite side. Good coverage there. Looked like Kevin Cobbs, the corner, makes his 5th tackle of the year.
Incomplete. That was incomplete there, Dylan, right? I believe. And, no completion. I'm sorry. I apologize. And, he went to his primary receivers to the right. Look, they weren't open. He came back to the check down man. So that's what he'll do. He'll take what's open. That's how the ball gets spread around.
And he went to Hossein. 2nd and 10. Good job by Cobbs. Mckee now rolls right. Finds Mckee. Mckee pushes forward, dives towards the 46-yard line, and they'll move the chains.
That's a great call there by Coach Blount, throwing that little quarter roll in the out there. You know, Mckee is so hard to cover by the linebacker right there in the chase position, and ball's thrown perfectly. Get a whole bunch of yards right there.
By the way, correction on Mckee's stat, it's actually a -10 with those sacks that he had as well. So not 10, it was a -10. First and 10 from the 46-yard line for Oceanside. Over the middle. A lot of zip on that ball. Incomplete for Cairo.
So the matchup here, Dylan, you're starting to see is that they're trying to find, the slot receivers are getting covered sometimes by an outside linebacker, and they're trying to pick on that matchup a little bit, right? Trying to get a faster slot guy against a slightly bigger and maybe a little bit slower linebacker, as opposed to picking on the matchup of going against Cialino and maybe against Hossein, which is a pretty good matchup. I'd like to see that one go out a little bit. But good coaching there by Coach Blount, trying to hook that seam up against the linebacker.
And Cairo, we see him lining up in the backfield. He's got 6 carries in the air, but he also has 5 receptions. And again, lining up out of the backfield. That's a complete pass. First down and more. Pushed out. Fountain had the push out. Good catch and yards after a catch there by Mckee.
So they put Mckee in the backfield. They motioned him out. And last time, the Massapequa guys didn't move either. They kind of stayed home. And Coach Blount probably saw that and came back to it. And rather than running draw, they threw it out to him. And they're a man short, and he's able to get quite a bit of yardage right there. That'll have to be an adjustment by the Pequa defense to that motion.
First and 10 from the 34-yard line. The pitch to Mckee. The cut inside, and he is leveled there by Valentine.
A little speed option there from Oceanside. I saw in the warm-ups, Sean Mckee throwing some option pitches with Coach Blount. I'm like, maybe a little option today, and there's a little speed option. Get 4 out of it, and a good scraping tackle there made by Valentine.
Yeah, he came into this game as the second leading tackler on the Massapequa defense. The leader is Yanner. Valentine came in just a half a tackle behind him. Gain of 3 on first down, so it's 2nd and 7 from the 31-yard line. Mckee finds another option. This time it's Lyson. Another first down for the Sailors.
You can see the accuracy and the arm strength from Troy Mckee right there, right? Just rolling that. They have an inside receiver running it out, and he's running a curl. So you have a curl out seam combo, and they get Lyson on the curl.
Lyson's 9th reception of the year now goes over 100 yards in receiving. First and 10 from the 18. Mckee fakes the handoff, goes over the top, left side, looking for Lyson. That is incomplete. In coverage there again was Cobbs, and Blount wants a pass interference penalty called. It was actually double coverage. Cobbs was one of them, but
Lyson playing the outside receiver spot. So they use Lyson in the backfield as a blocker. They use him as an inline tight end sometimes. They use him as a slot, all different spots. And now it was an outside receiver there running that corner out, trying to use his height and size to kind of high point the ball.
Now he stays out, and you've got Rossler who comes in, right? So he'll be on the other side as that tight end on the right. Look at this. Little power eye look. There's the flip. The run forward, but again, good job defensively by Massapequa.
Howe's coming from the backside.
Cole Parker with the run.
Trying to pound at him a little bit right there, you know?
Well, we saw that, right, against Farmingdale when we were here. A different look from the Oceanside offense. And that was something that was important, I think, for Rob Blount to see, right? A different way to win a football game, where they went to power it when Farmingdale took away so much in the aerial game.
They had a pretty significant size advantage on the line of scrimmage. The size advantage is still there today, but not as, I don't think it's as significantly against Massapequa.
Rossler motions to the left as a receiver, finds him, and terrific job by Cobbs. We've called his name this entire series. That's the third big play that he's made.
Sure, he comes off. He sees that ball getting thrown short to Rossler, and he comes up and makes the play. 4th down, Dylan.
So Maurizio is certainly a good kicker, but considering where you are, right, you're going to go for it. 4th and 6 from the 14-yard line.
I think both coaches feel like a field goal is not going to be the answer to this game. And I could be wrong about an hour and a half from now, but I think they're thinking that way, and what you're going to call and what you're going to find.
I think you've got a better option of it from Maurizio, and we'll have a conversation now with Blount and his guys. Through 3 weeks for Oceanside, Blount says we're getting better each week. We have some experience. Actually, that was what Massapequa was saying. Blount says we're not where we want to be just yet. We still have a lot of work to do. We've been moving players in and out of the lineup because of injuries through the last 4 weeks, but this is the first week that he says that we finally have our regular starters in the lineup, which is huge for them.
Sure,
but also it's key as well because you're able to then get younger players. He was able to get some juniors, some options. And let's take a look at the two teams' schedules and how they got to this point. We were here for that Farmingdale game, that 31-21 win for the Sailors. You see they're both 3-0. Massapequa, big win over East Meadow to start. Tough one against Syosset, and then that 28-0 win over Port Washington.
Yeah, you see the season right now, Dylan. We're at the halfway point of the season. We're in week 4. We're at the halfway point of the season, and this is the 1-2 game, the 1-2 matchup right here in week 4. Usually a little later in the season, a lot.
That's the one thing that Chippo said too. It's like, they played at the very end of the year last year. Ooh, some movement up front. A false start in the offense.
Gotta be frustrating there, Dylan.
Especially off a timeout.
Yeah, very frustrating,
But yeah, that's the one thing that Shippos was saying. Like, you look at last year's regular season game, and that was to determine who would have home field, which was especially huge in the spring because you weren't playing at Hofstra, right? So it wasn't a matter of which locker room you'd be on or which side you'd be in at Sherwood Stadium. It was which campus you would be on. Obviously, Oceanside won that game.
So it looks like they took some of the bigs out.
Yeah, Ebel's in now. You see him there, 23.
Meison's still in the game. Empty set here, 3-by-2.
You can still get a first down. It's 4th and 11 from the 19. Hossein motions. That's complete. First down and more. Touchdown, Oceanside. This one will count. Ronnie Kramer.
Great play design there by Oceanside. I think we'll see the replay. What goes on there?
And wide open was Kramer. Broke the tackle at the 2.
Kramer's on the 3 receiver side. On the short side of the field, they come up in the seam and it's open. They used Hossein kind of as a decoy running across the middle of the field, shallow. A little under route.
So here's Maurizio. He's 9 of 10 in point after attempts on the year. His kick is up, and it is good. So at almost the same point of the first quarter when Massapequa scored, Oceanside with the response. They tie this one up at 7. And again, when you've got as many options as you do in Mckee, you're very comfortable looking to any of those guys.
Sure, I don't think when you have Charlie Mckee, you're going to shy away from 4th down, from making the right decision on the play you want to call and be like, oh, we can't run this, we can't run that. You can run anything when you have him on 4th down, regardless of the yardage. And both teams scoring 4th down, Dylan, right?
Yeah.
Both fourth down pass plays. So
same end zone. So Mckee now 7 of, well, this would be actually before the touchdown, so you add the touchdown as well. 8 of 13 on the game for Mckee. And look at the sharing the wealth. What we said, Mecca, Kramer, Lyson, Rossler all have receptions on the day in this first half.
Yeah, he spreads it around. He's got a bunch of guys to throw it to, a bunch of good skill guys, and they all, the way to keep them all happy is get them all a couple touches, right? And use them all different ways, and that's good. Not only good coaching, but good quarterbacking by Mckee, coming off his primary read, going to a secondary read. Definitely don't have one guy you can key on alone.
These guys for Oceanside, so many returning players. What's the big difference, right, from year to year? He said they're more relaxed coming into this year because a majority of the starters are 3-year guys, right? So you've been through so many of these big games, these homecoming, these big atmospheres. So he said that's one of the keys for us, said Blount. They started out as young pups and went through, they're battle-tested, certainly, especially in that shortened season last year, but the experience is a big thing for Oceanside. They've got experience, you would argue, unlike anybody else in Nassau Conference 1, with so many different guys who came up as sophomores and who are now seniors.
No doubt, Dylan. And once here in the kicking game, this is where Oceanside dangerous. Try a little momentum. Sometimes they onside kick.
Maurizio goes long this time, and it bounces out. So another penalty on the kick. But, yeah, we've seen that before. The onside, the pooch, a few different things. It worked in that Farmingdale game for them as well.
We got a little wind here. We just can't seem to keep it in bounds. I give up a little bit of yardage, but, both teams are, especially Oceanside, very proficient in the kicking game in terms of having fakes, onside kicks, things of that nature to keep you honest. And Coach Blount's a big fan of the momentum game, right? And you score, everyone's excited, and all of a sudden the other team's, doesn't know where he's at. And you all of a sudden you have something happen like an onside kick and keep that momentum going.
When we spoke to Kevin Shippos, the Massapequa coach, about the strength of his team, he said offensively it does start with Heydrich, a first-year starter. He doesn't look it, though. He doesn't look that part as a first-year starter. Again, big shoes to fill coming in for John Giller, but he's done the job. Around the outside is D'Alessandro, and he'll get out to about the 39-yard line.
It's like a little sweep read there, little sweep read play. Getting D'Alessandro downhill.
In Giller, who was the QB the last couple of years, Shippo says he was as good as we get here in Massapequa. The argument could be made that maybe he should have won the Thorpe Award last year. That's certainly the belief around Massapequa. D'Alessandro again tries to go between the tackles. Gets out to the 41.
A couple plays in a row, getting D'Alessandro touches. Going to use the clock game a little bit. You got 3rd and 4, pretty manageable 3rd down, but if you don't make it here, you're going to have to punt the football. So they have to get the crowds alive now a little bit, Dylan. You have the whole thing happening here right now for Oceanside.
Twin receivers at the bottom of your screen, 3rd and 4 for Massapequa. Heydrich rolls right, finds a receiver, it's Yanner. Downed at the 40. Big 3rd down play, Kramer with the tackle.
I think Yano just might have gotten lost there a little bit in the action. He's playing tight end and just kind of ran a little bit of a shallow route up the sideline. They kind of lost him a little bit. He was wide open.
He came into this game with 4 receptions for 66 yards. He's a guy who also plays fullback. He's all over the place and also a really big part of their defense. That's a nice run on 1st down towards the chains. That was Luke Cialino. That 1-2 punch that we talked about before, right? Where D'Alessandro gets some of those tough yards. And then you get the shifty Cialino. Now Massapequa looking to go quick. Back to Cialino. Not going anywhere. Moskovich, 63, in on the tackle, a junior. Again, that's one of the changes that we've seen up front for Oceanside. Still young, a little bit, as Blount says, wet behind the ears. But he says part of what we preach here is setting the standard in practice, and he's done a great job in the scout team, and A good story there, too, where he's earned his starting spot.
Yeah, they've been doing some rotating of defensive linemen. I think you see Corvino now, who's the starting center in the game on defensive line.
3rd and 2 from the 37-yard line. And again, right? Heydrich calls the play, now takes a look.
Yep, dummy cadence. Almost got him to jump a little bit there, but then they checked the sideline for what the real play is.
They went 19 yards in the last 3rd down conversion. Ooh, this could be close. Heydrich, maybe that last effort. We'll wait for everybody to peel off the pile.
I think he's going to be a little short, Dylan. Very good job by the Oceanside guys grounding into the football right there. The last couple of plays they were using D'Alessandro as a blocking back and giving the ball there to Cialino, the other Cialino, and that was good play calling, one little duo there. Now you have 4th and 1.
Yeah, here we go, 4th and 1. D'Alessandro back as the running back. He gets the football, cuts right, pushes forward, keeps it going.
Be very
Depends
close
on the spot. It would appear that he has it.
Judging by the spot, it looks like he might have. But put that football down, Dylan. Where did the nose of the football go?
Watch again the second effort here. The first contact came. You see the leg still churning. But the question is there, that forward progress, right? Before he cut out to the right, where was he? We'll get a great look here from our camera guys. Oh, he does get it by the nose of the football.
Very close, Dylan. I mean, that's D'Alessandro's strength right there. Is that forward lean, those shoulder pads, getting him downhill.
I thought Miller needed to bring out the card there for a second.
They're a good crew. If that's how they spot, if that's how they saw it, they're probably going to be right most of the time. They're way closer than we are, I can say that much.
Another big 3rd down conversion. So 1st and 10, or 4th down, I should say. 1st and 10. Heydrich fakes, goes long, has a man, and just overthrows the intended target, who was Fountain.
He had Fountain coming open a little bit late. I think there was some pressure up front, right there by Oceanside. Looks like might have Xavier Miller maybe in his face as about to throw the ball, and maybe affected the throw a little bit.
You and I have been out to this field a lot over the years, and perhaps I wasn't here for the championship game. You were last year. But when you take a look around the perimeter of the field, they are lined up around the fences, and that's a long way because there's a track as well. It's as crowded as I've ever seen it here at Oceanside. 2nd and 10 from the 30. Flag on the play. The flag came from the near side. The pass was complete to Fountain.
Yep, just taking some yards on a quick out there. We'll see what the penalty call is here.
Well, it was our matchup that we love. There you see some of the fans lined up. It was Cialino and Jose at the bottom of your screen, and that's where that flag came.
Coach Brown's very demonstrative, but he's always very demonstrative, so you don't know which way that's happening. He's not giving you any indication. Coach Chappell's now wants an explanation. Nobody's happy right now. Everyone's unhappy.
See those special flags as well, right? For breast cancer awareness, the pink flags.
Little illegal motion there. Second and 15 now.
You can hear the 309 in front of us, and they are certainly well represented, as are the Massapequa student fans across the way. 2nd and 15, Heydrich, and cannot connect with Fountain.
Similar play they ran earlier to Cialino with that little quarter roll and that little stop route, comeback route. Couldn't hook it up there. 3rd and 15 now. It's where the head coaches get paid the big bucks. High school football, no, they don't, but they have to make the big decisions. You're 3rd and 15 now, and probably letting the offensive coordinator know if you get half the yardage, most of the yardage, we're going on 4th down. What is that situation here?
Chance of defense come up. Whistles before the snap. Rob Blount motioning towards the 309, wants to get him excited. There they are, all with their homecoming shirts. They sold a lot of those shirts.
Looks like
I was
everybody's
driving
got one.
down Atlantic Avenue and I saw a bunch of those shirts.
He doesn't want to stop coaching football. Coach Brown, he could be a marketing genius.
See two different messages in that shirt, right? The front says one thing, the back says beat Pequa.
A little false start there. It looked like they were going to come on an edge blitz with Lyson wrapping around. They kind of got them thrown off. Massapequa, they jumped.
3rd and 20 from the 40. Again, the pressure comes. Heydrich gets rid of it. It was Rossler who got around the edge into his face.
They brought 4 there. I think there was a little more simulated pressure than there was pressure, Dylan. You know, a little sim. Yeah, sim meaning that they're going to simulate the pressure. Maybe woke a guy who's going to come and then back him out late or don't bring him. And they had 4 there. I think Heydrich maybe had a little bit more time, but good job by the Oceanside defense. They forced a punt.
A fake. Heydrich goes. It's complete. First down the far sideline to Ciolino.
Dylan, you know what's very interesting? On the previous Massapequa punt, they had a player who was on our sideline on the press box side who wasn't covered. And once again, on this side, and Lyson came out and covered him late on a previous punt. And on this play, on the other side of the field, they have another guy open, and that's just a misassignment right there, and that can't make Coach Brown too happy.
Jake Ciolino. We've been used to big plays by Jake. Another one there. After the timeout, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line.
Yeah, Ciolino kind of like goes to the punt formation. You know, he's the gunner there. He's the coverage gunner, and he's on the sideline, you know, and he's in the field of play, and they just miss him. They don't cover him. And there's your example of why your quarterback is your punter sometimes, right?
100%.
Because not only can he can punt, maybe he's the only guy on the team who can punt well, but he can throw it. And the same with Charlie Mckee, and you have to be careful there. And big play by Massapequa.
We spoke to Shippos just again about sort of what does this game mean, right? How important is this one? And we heard a lot of comments leading into the year, right, from Charlie Mckee talking about the Massapequa players dancing on their logo at midfield, and you want revenge. And really, the message this week from Shippos to his guys, it's week 4. It's not the county championship. He tells the kids, don't make more about it than it has to be. He's not doing anything different. We're going to do what we do. He said, but for me, the message is really simple. It's just another opportunity to get better. 1st and 10 from the 15. There's Heydrich running to the right side, gets out of bounds at, looks to be the 11.
Classic Massapequa offense right there. You're shooting the quarterback as a running back and student body right? Trying to get a hat on a hat, a player on a player. Heydrich gets out of bounds. 2:04 to go before half. They can get a first down without scoring here, so they could use a lot of time here.
And they've got 2 timeouts remaining. Oceanside has 1.
Running the quarterback the way they do Massapequa definitely keeps you honest on defense.
2nd and 6. They motion Fountain to the left. They hand it off to D'Alessandro, cuts inside, gets inside the 10-yard line.
Good pursuit there by Oceanside. It looked like when that ball just got handed to D'Alessandro, he had the corner, he had the edge, kind of got walled off a little bit, and he cut it up.
Heydrich rolls right, cuts it back the other way, looks, goes end zone, incomplete, bobbled by Fountain.
Great job by Heydrich keeping the play alive right there. They went fast there again. I don't think Oceanside was lined up correctly, and Fountain wasn't open originally. He did a little. Fountain got open late.
Good job defensively too. Looked like that was Ebel.
Ebel was close. Fountain would like to have that one back. But nice play by Heydrich, keeping the play alive, and you have Fountain doing the scramble drill down there, right in the end zone, trying to get open.
Another 4th down. They can get a first. It's 4th and 5 from the 10. Heydrich over the middle. Touchdown, Massapequa. Jake Cialino.
Tell you, Heydrich doesn't even look like he's throwing the ball very hard, but it gets there. It's looks like you have a little bit of man coverage out there on the outside. And I think he just runs them off. A couple fakes there, runs them off, and it gets free for the touchdown on the comeback route.
Cialino, again, one of the county's top receivers right now, is Nassau County's top receiver. Came into this game with 15 receptions, 385 yards, and that extra point is no good. Chalemi missed it. He was a perfect 16 of 16 coming into this game. We'll see how much that miss means as we go forward. It's 1:30 left here in the first half. You're watching the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
And welcome back to Oceanside, the 309. Jumping, trying to get their team back into it. And you look at the time and score, right? You coaches, you guys always preach this, right? You've got 1:30 left. You've got a timeout remaining. This almost sets up perfectly for the way that Oceanside wants to play, right? They like to go quick. You've got multiple receivers. They could all run out routes.
Sure, this is by no means like, hey, run a couple plays, let's go to halftime and figure
right.
out. This is when you have Charlie Mckee in this offense, you're going to try to score all the time. And, it starts right here with the kickoff, and where's the ball going to start from,
Chalemi. This one stays in. It's a good kick as well. It's received there by Mckee. Mckee stutter step, and he's put down at about the 25, 26-yard line. So Mckee back out on the field, and again, he's got, 75 yards or so to go, and 1:23, a timeout at his disposal.
Clock's always going to stop on a made first down in bounds, like college football, same way, and then restart it, so you have time there. No doubt you practice the 2-minute drill, if people want to call it, right, a few times a week in practice. Trying to leave the day before the game and another game at least twice a week. 2-minute drills practiced. So we'll see what Oceanside has here.
Hey, here we go. 1st and 10 from the 27-yard line.
If you're Massapequa, you have the whole field to work defensively with, so you don't want to give them a big play in one play. Make them earn the yardage, and you help the clock as your friend.
Empty backfield for Mckee. Good protection. Goes over the middle. Incomplete. Trying to find Cairo.
They've worked that seam route all day, trying to get that matchup against those linebackers. That seam receiver against those linebackers, probably a pretty good matchup. And just haven't been able to hook it up yet. A couple times they were very close. Maybe got one of them, but I haven't been able to hook it up consistently.
And that's exactly, Mike, what you referred to, right? Don't give up that home run on that first down. And they kind of went for it there, trying to get Cairo into space. 2nd and 10 from the 27-yard line. Again, Mckee, an empty backfield at a shotgun. He's got twin receivers on the bottom of your screen in Mckee and Ebel. He checks that way, now looks the other side. That's complete to Hossein. Breaks a tackler. Valentine gets him down at the 48-yard line, so that will stop the clock to move the chains.
And that's okay. I mean, Massapequa doesn't want to give a first down up at all, but if you're going to give something up, don't let the run after the catch be a big thing and get him on the floor. Great pass by Mckee. Accuracy to Hossein.
Little confusion there as Cairo was running off the field. Now he sets up as the ball goes to Kramer. Good route, good job too by Kramer to get out of bounds.
Yeah, you can see they've moved the ball now about 30 yards in just a couple plays. Still have 49 seconds left in the timeout.
Yeah, what did we say? It was 127 when they started.
Interestingly enough, looks like Oceanside's changed up things on the offensive line. They have Joey Broderick playing right guard. And Corvino, the center, is now playing left tackle. And some change going. It might be an injury. Have to check on that.
Pressure comes now. Mckee finds another one of his key receivers. It's Mckee. Downed at the 30. The clock will stop again.
Great quarterbacking right there, Dylan. D'Alessandro blitzed late. He blitzed from depth and added in late. And Mckee threw it to where the blitz came from. Throw it where they're coming from because it should be nobody there. It's a pretty good strategy.
Mckee finds his man again in Mckee, the tackle by Howes. And now, because that ball was caught in the middle of the field and because it wasn't a first down, Oceanside does use their final timeout of the first half.
Yeah, that one he couldn't get out of bounds there. It was kind of like an inside route, so got him down the clock running with 29 seconds. And Coach Brown smartly uses the last timeout. So now, if he's tackled in bounds, it's not a first down. That clock's going to run, and if they get a first down, it'll briefly stop. But no more timeouts for Oceanside.
We asked both coaches their keys to this game. For Oceanside, Blount showcased all three facets, right? Offensively, protect Mckee, control the line of scrimmage, create big chunk plays, which he called anything of 15 yards or more. Defensively, he said limit the big play in the air, swarm to the football, and punish the ball carriers. On specials, he wanted his team to be fundamentally sound, create field positions, or shave points with special team plays. Those are the keys for Oceanside in this game. They changed the clock, you see there, so it's 31 seconds left.
Added 2 seconds on there, Dylan. Bob Miller came over to the press box. The scoreboard clock is official here. They have an official here running the clock, so it's unlike some high schools where it's not official. And they keep it on the field. The time is being kept up here in the press box with us. Nice little touch.
Defensive keys for Massapequa. Managing Oceanside's possessions, trying to get them off the field on third down. That's been a bit of an issue, he said, for them this year on third and long and fourth downs getting off the field. Containing Mckee, trying to get pressure on him, trying to rattle him, get him off his launch point, and try to disrupt their crossing routes. We've seen that, right? They've done a good job there. And timing patterns with rerouting by the linebackers and D-backs. All three phases are going to have to be on point here today. 2nd and 7 from the 27-yard line. 31 seconds left. Mckee, plenty of time. Fires it. Finds a receiver. It's downfield. Cairo with the reception. They've got to stop the clock. You can see Blount as well motioning to down the football.
I think he was past the line of scrimmage again. Mr. Miller's got a flag down.
Well, it's a timeout called by Massapequa. Let's watch it again. Plenty of time for Mckee. And just fires one over the middle. Spinning for a few extra yards was Cairo before he is downed.
That was a great ball. You see the accuracy on him on the move. Very good athlete. Able to get his hips around. I think that flag was picked up. It wasn't a flag. Coach Shippos was arguing he was way past the line of scrimmage to no avail. But a great ball by Charlie Mckee.
So we've got a 1st and goal from the 7. 22 seconds left. They show on the scoreboard 1 timeout remaining for Massapequa.
Interestingly enough, last down, Massapequa played coverage. They had a 3-man line and they had a linebacker, 4-man box, knowing that they obviously probably weren't going to run the football with no timeouts, and they played coverage and nobody down the field was open. It was a good job at defensively cover-wise, and Mckee just kept the play alive. And there's the problem with not bringing extra guys, right? You give them a lot of time. Good pass blocking there by the Sailors, and finds the open man. It's hard to cover for a long time, but to keep guys covered 5-6 seconds is tough.
So here we go. 1st and goal from the 7-yard line. The Massapequa defense out on the field. This year, Orland and Cone game of the week on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And through almost a full 2 quarters, it has certainly lived up to that. Cairo to the left of Mckee. Lobs it end zone, looking for Lyson, incomplete, but a flag is thrown. Lyson never able to really get free and open up his arm, so clearly a pass interference. At this point of the field, will go half the distance.
Sure, just trying to high point the ball, Charlie Mckee, right? Throw it up in the corner of the end zone, and the defender never got his head around, and never played the ball, kind of played the man.
I see the call by Bob Miller. Mckee right now, by the way, 13 of 19 for 165 yards and a touchdown. And Massapequa will now call their final timeout of the first half. So, Mike, 1st and goal from the 3. What are you going to call?
Well, you have 18 seconds. If you run the ball here, I doubt you'll be able to get it unpiled, and then snap the ball and get it spiked to stop the clock again. So I think the running game might be out of the question. And if you're going to run the ball, you got to be pretty sure that you have the numbers you want. You're going to be able to score. I don't think you can get 2 running plays in 18 seconds, but you could get 2 pass plays in 18 seconds. You can't take a sack. A lot of your routes you normally run, Dylan, you can't run down here because you have a short field to work with, right? So you have your crossing routes, you have your underneath routes, you have your fades in the corner, maybe a rub route. Coach Brown's always running a lot of rub routes, trying to get a defender picked off a little bit. And those are all things you can come to here, this area of the field. But if you get tackled in bounds, you're going to have a hard time getting the ball snapped again.
And if it's any sort of a scrambly situation, that might do it for the time left on the clock. So Oceanside breaks the timeout. You see Mecca and Lyson at the bottom of your screen. You've got Hossein and looks to be Kramer at the top, and Cairo now to McKee's left hip.
Top of the screen, the receivers are tight. You're going to get an outside route or an inside route.
Mckee again, and another pass interference penalty. So Lyson again the intended target. This time it was Yanner being called for the pass interference. We'll go from the 3 to the 1.5.
Tried to go back to Lyson again, go with the big man in the corner, right? Another penalty. Top of the screen, the receivers were very tight to the formation. So when you got tight to the formation, you're either thinking a crossing route, getting underneath it quick, or an outside route, running a fade or a stop, or kind of quick out route.
And really, considering where you are in the field, a pass interference penalty doesn't kill you, really, if you're Massapequa. I mean, you go from the 3 to the 1.5.
If it was 45 seconds, it might kill you, and only the fact that you would probably run the ball, get it unpiled, and spike the ball on 1st down. Right now, you still might have to throw the football.
So now Cairo to the right of Mckee. Motions out, looks for the football, turns, he's in. Touchdown, Oceanside. It'll go down as a 2-yard pass from Mckee to Cairo.
Excellent play design there, Dylan. Excellent play design. They get the running back motioned out of the backfield to get a little momentum. They're playing man coverage. That's a linebacker that's got to cover him in a chase position. But once again, though, it seems so easy, right? But that ball is perfectly thrown in the right spot where he can catch it and get in the end zone. If it's thrown on his back shoulder, he gets tackled, doesn't score. They go to halftime.
I thought it was a good read by Cobbs, but as you mentioned, he was just a little bit off. And this, a pretty big PAT attempt here for Oceanside. Maurizio for the lead. His kick is up, And it is good. So the 2-minute, or was it a minute 27 offense, whatever you want to call it, worked to perfection as Oceanside not only finds the end zone, but they now take the lead 14-13 with 10 seconds left. We talked about the trickery, right, and kicks. This could be a good chance here as well. Maurizio, maybe a little pooch, or maybe here as well for an onside kick with 10 seconds left, knowing that there's no timeouts left.
Well, if you do that and you get it back, you probably have one shot at the end zone. You can throw one up into the end zone if that's what you want to do. Or you kick it deep and let the half end and go to halftime saying, you know what, maybe we didn't play our very best half against a very good opponent, but we're ahead.
On that drive, Mckee, 5 of 6 for 67 yards. That's the way you maneuver downfield, and that's the guy with experience and certainly the pedigree, right, as the reigning Thorpe Award winner.
Very good drive by Charlie Mckee. You saw a little bit of everything there from him. Throwing off the scramble, throwing some quick outs.
And look at the guys up front, hands team for Massapequa. So they're expecting perhaps an onside kick and some trickery here by Maurizio.
Sure, you could definitely get almost somewhat of a regular kickoff formation. They have 6 men up front, but most of them are in the low numbers, right? They're in the eligible numbers.
They've got Fountain, you see, Luke Cialino, 20 next to him.
They have 55 in there, but he must be, he's a lineman number, but they must really be very happy with his hands and his ability to handle the football.
Jared Howes right in the middle of that, another wide receiver. Maurizio is a pooch kick, and it's fielded, and that's going to be a flag for a personal foul. It was as we get some conversations here, it was a fair catch called.
Yep, you can't on a fair catch, can't touch the receiver, the man receiving the ball. That'll be a penalty.
So Joe Fazio called for it, caught the football, but then you saw there he got hammered by Kramer. There's the call by Miller, a personal foul on Oceanside. So that'll move him down 15 yards. And again, you don't have a timeout, right? But you got to think you can make one more big play here if you're Massapequa.
Well, the clock is going to stop, right, on a first down. So you could throw the football down the field to a degree. You could get a first down. The clock will stop, and you can run to the football lineup and spike it, and then probably have another play. So you might have 2 plays here. You could maybe crazy 3 plays.
Well, I'm not sure you're getting 2. I think that's an optimistic. I hear what you're saying, but that's going to be hard to do, I think, unless it's a quick out or something of that variety.
Being optimistic, Dylan. We'll see if we can get 3 in here.
So here's Heydrich. The pressure comes. Ducks out, rolls right, and just tucks down. Good job by Broderick, 50, kind of being part of that group to push forward. And that'll do it for a fantastic first half. How many touchdowns did we have on 4th down, right? Big moments, big plays. These two teams have brought it through 24 minutes. It's the Orland and Cone Game of the Week. You're watching it right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist, making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
But the Flyers have dealt with that well. Torres calls his own number into the secondary, cuts right. He's got a blocker upfield as well. Dante Torres, touchdown, St. Anthony's. Goes long, looks for Duff. It's good. Duff turns, spins. Duff is forced. Touchdown. Rand just rolls to the right. Arroyo chases him. He goes end zone. Touchdown, Syosset.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Now is the time to showcase your skills for the next level. College recruiting videos help your athlete land a spot on the team and can save money on college tuition. Consider a professional video produced by Varsity Media. Our quality film and state-of-the-art editing will help your athlete stand out from the competition. We offer affordable rates and a quick turnaround. Contact Varsity Media today and book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. Ciolino. See you later.
Going long. Wide open is Perazi. He gets it. Perazi. Foot raise. 10, 5. Make it. Touchdown. Punch. Counter punch.
Trickery, Ryder gets it back, goes over the top for Haberman. What a catch!
Just Ross Simmons strips him, that's loose, and Ross Simmons is going to take this the other direction. Make it! Touchdown! Touchdown East!
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmiga will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, three-point shot is up and in. You back him back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net. Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
Goes McCarthy.
He's got up. He's in.
Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage. One of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
But the Flyers have dealt with that well. Torres calls his own number into the secondary, cuts right. He's got a blocker upfield as well. Dante Torres, touchdown, St. Anthony's. Goes long, looks for Duff. It's good. Duff turns, spins. Duff is forced. Touchdown. Rand just rolls to the right. Arroyo chases him. He goes end zone. Touchdown, Syosset.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Now is the time to showcase your skills for the next level. College recruiting videos help your athlete land a spot on the team and can save money on college tuition. Consider a professional video produced by Varsity Media. Our quality film and state-of-the-art editing will help your athlete stand out from the competition. We offer affordable rates and a quick turnaround. Contact Varsity Media today and book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Giulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. Ciolino. See you later.
Going long, wide open is Perazzi. He gets it. Perazzi, foot raise, 10, 5, make it! Touchdown! Punch, counter punch.
The trickery. Ryder gets it back. Goes over the top for Haberman. What a catch!
Just Ross Simmons strips him. That's loose, and Ross Simmons is going to take this the other direction. Make it! Touchdown! Touchdown East!
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmiga will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key. 4-3. Good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off. 3-point shot is up and in. You back him back 3 yards. It doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net. Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
Goes McCarthy.
He's got, he's in.
Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage. One of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Teed off by shoulder pain? We've got specialists for that. Realizing you've pulled out more than weeds? We've got specialists for that. Doing the twist making you shout? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
But the Flyers have dealt with that well. Torres calls his own number into the secondary, cuts right. He's got a blocker upfield as well. Dante Torres, touchdown, St. Anthony's. long, looks for Duff. It's good. Duff turns, spins. Duff is forced. Touchdown. Brand just rolls to the right. Arroyo chases him. He goes end zone. Touchdown, Syosset.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Now is the time to showcase your skills for the next level. College recruiting videos help your athlete land a spot on the team and can save money on college tuition. Consider a professional video produced by Varsity Media. Our quality film and state-of-the-art editing will help your athlete stand out from the competition. We offer affordable rates and a quick turnaround. Contact Varsity Media today and book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
Over the middle, he's got a man. It's complete. Ciolino. See you later.
Going long, wide open, Perazzi, he gets it, Perazzi, foot raise, 10, 5, bank it, touchdown, punch, counter punch.
The trickery, Ryder gets it back, goes over the top for Haberman. What a catch!
Just Ross Simmons strips him, that's loose, and Ross Simmons is gonna take this the other direction, bank it, touchdown, touchdown East.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmiga will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, three-point shot is up and in. You back him back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net. Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
McCarthy.
He's got, he's in.
Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage. One of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050. You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
We are back here at Oceanside. You gotta love big-headed mascots. The Sailor is in the house as part of the, there he is, as part of the halftime festivities. I saw him out there dancing with the dance team there as well. I think he needs some refreshments after that competition.
Pretty hot in those uniforms. Outfits. Pretty hot.
So great, entertaining first half, and we've got some stats and highlights for you. First, for some stats, you can see certainly the difference in philosophies, right, from passing and rushing, and Massapequa doing a better job establishing their rush at 67 yards. Oceanside obviously airing it out, especially in that last drive. 166 yards in the air. How about that fourth down conversion, though, Mike? Unbelievable from Massapequa. 5 of 5. Oceanside 1 of 2. And obviously not all of those, but so many of those ended up in scoring plays.
Sure, we had 4 touchdowns in the half, right? 2 by each team, 1 missed extra point, looming a little large of a difference, but 3 of those 4 touchdowns were on fourth down, right? Fourth down plays. So interesting dynamic.
Let's take a look at those touchdowns now. It started in the first quarter. This is a big drive here for Massapequa. You see Heydrich finding D'Alessandro for the 5-yard touchdown reception. That capped a 14-play, 65-yard drive that took 6 minutes and 5 seconds of the clock. So a great opening drive, and it took Oceanside until the second quarter to respond. They do here as Charlie Mckee throws his first touchdown pass, finding Ronnie Kramer. This 19-yard score. There you see the pass. Nice turn by Kramer, finding the end zone. That capped a 10-play, 70-yard drive to tie the score at 7. Another fourth down conversion for his score. Here is Heydrich finding Jake Cialino. This capped a 15-play, 65-yard drive in the front of the end zone. Now, the PAT was missed. That becomes important because of the way that Oceanside ended the first half, and they ended it in style. 7 plays, 73 yards in a minute 20, capped by Mckee's 1-yard touchdown pass to Nicky Cairo. Great play call. You see Cairo just getting the ball down in the front of the end zone. The PAT by Maurizio was good, and that's a difference right now. That 1 point, the difference between these two teams, 14-13. You wonder, Mike, how large that maybe looms in the second half.
Could be pretty big, Dylan. I mean, I think it's too early now. If Massapequa were to score early in the second half, it might be too early to chase that point. You might want to just get one, kick an extra point and not chase it. But you never know. I mean, depending on Massapequa kicks a freshman, I believe, right? So chasing that one's it's gonna hang around for a while. That's for sure.
And it's remarkable too, because that was his first miss of the season for Chilemi. We talked about our impact players, right? So we want to sort of revisit that and see where they are right now in this game. Both quarterbacks, how about Ryan Heydrich right now? Putting up some good numbers. That's his passing numbers as well. 8 for 14 for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also has 8 carries for 28 yards, right? So that good dual threat from Heydrich, and it didn't even appear in that first half like he broke a sweat. He is absolutely as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Definitely a cool cat, and I mean that in a very positive way, not anything negative about him. He's very, very good. Remember, he's a first-year starter, right? So he's starting his 4th game. Last year if you remember correctly, Massapequa had 2 senior quarterbacks that took reps. So he gets his 4th game of play. He's played really well considering. And
the guy who's in his 4th year at starting quarterback is Charlie Mckee. We take a look at his numbers in the first half. 14 of 20 for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns. He had a negative rushing number because of obviously being sacked by that stout Massapequa defense. Leading the way defensively for Massapequa. How about Ryan Fountain, right? We talked about him offensively. 6 tackles in the first half. Kevin Cobbs as well out at the corner spot. 5 tackles. Oceanside, it's Broderick and Lyson, both with 6 tackles. Rossler with 5 and Kramer with 4 in that first half.
Definitely secondary plays for Massapequa. When you play Oceanside, your secondary has to tackle. Corners and safeties have to do a good job either in run support or tackling pass catchers. Otherwise, you're in for a very, very long day.
And Mckee was the leading receiver for Mckee in that first half with 6 receptions for 65 yards. See the shaking on our camera there? That's because the 309 getting excited as the Sailors are making their way back onto the field. It's one of the cooler things that you have here, Mike, I think, because they walk by kind of like a wall of fame right? Got to give credit to you guys out of Farmingdale. I love the walk when you come in to all the bricks that are laid, kind of like Bethpage as well, right? Similar, where you honor a lot of those key players. Here, you run along as you see them entering the field. You see those banners on the other side. That's historical. Those are kind of like your, not retired numbers, right? But certainly people that you remember in the legacy of Oceanside football.
Sure, and both teams are going to come out. They both use the locker room in the building, I believe, so they're both going to come out from the locker room at different times, get back on the field to start the second half. But, Oceanside's going to get the ball here, Dylan, right? They're going to get the ball and up by a point. And I think this first series, for them offensively and Massapequa defensively is going to tell a lot about how this half is going to go.
I guess the advantage of coming out first, if you are Oceanside, is Rob Blount gets the ear of Bob Miller for the longest amount of time. He's out by the 5-yard line right now, having the conversation with certainly arguably one of, if not the best official and best crew in Nassau County. We saw them out again last week. Syosset. This is the Orland and Cone. There they are. This is the Orland and Cone game of the week. We thank you so much for joining us and for Orland and Cone's sponsorship as well. Great organization that they run there. I saw Ray Nelson as well taking some pictures. I'm sure he'll put them on Instagram as well. The Chiefs walking down that same way as well. A little bit of swagger there by the visitors. And they hear it from the home crowd.
They came out a little bit later here than the Sailors. I think the Sailors were hoping they would come out first, and they have it. And home crowd giving the business a little bit, Dylan, here. This is our second half.
Again, not many atmospheres like it here at Oceanside, and so much of that credit goes to Rob Blount for what he's built here. The tradition, right? The game day festivities. Today's obviously a little bit longer than others with homecoming as well. So you had all the support staff here, the cheerleaders, the dance team. Not as big a band as you have out in Farmingdale. What is that? I think that number continues to grow. What are you up to, 400 band members now, I think?
I don't think it's that many, Dylan, but someone told me it's around 300, though. That's around the number. High 2s to 300, something like that. It's a pretty crazy number in the band over there. But, great halftime here. A little longer halftime, 20 minutes. So both teams were in the locker room a little bit longer. Probably gave coaches a little chance to meet together and before they talk to the players and go over some things, some adjustments they may want to make. I think, talking of adjustments, Dylan, I think, if you're Oceanside, you're ahead by a point, but their running game has not been as successful as it's been in previous weeks. Kind of have to try to get that going, and they've had some adjustments on the offensive line. Some guys have shifted around. That may be a result of maybe some of the running game difficulties. And of course, Massapequa's deep defense has played quite well first to run. And I think if you're Massapequa, you just got to keep doing what you're doing, right? And you got to find a way to get, like you said earlier, get Mckee off his mark, and get him off his spot where he's not throwing, stepping into it, and try to create pressure. And there's the fine line between pressure and coverage, right? You can't leave guys wide open. He's going to throw it to him if you're pressuring too much, but you have to get some pressure on the quarterback.
Some of those offensive keys for Massapequa. We told you the defensive keys. He said we're going to have to establish the run. Our line's going to have to do a good job. He says Oceanside is big up front, Kevin Chippo said. They've got Lyson as a linebacker. We've got to be aware of him. But establishing the run then opens up our passing game. So we're going to have to get a good push, control the ball, control the clock, try to keep it out of their hands. That was certainly mission accomplished on that first drive, right, which took a lot of time off the clock. It was a 14-play drive, 65 yards to the house, but not the case on that last drive where Oceanside marched down the field in 1:20 for the score. Kickoff fielded and downed. I believe that was Kramer.
Short pooch kickoff right there. Oceanside will have pretty good field position on the 28.
Yeah, we just showed you before, too, Mckee's first half stats. Senior going to play at Stony Brook. We just talked about Dylan Lauby last night, right, in the career that he had at West Hampton Beach, and he just played Stony Brook earlier this year. So that's a good level, I think, for a lot of these guys, right, and expect Mckee to have an impact for the Seawolves in the years to come. First down and 10 from the 27-yard line. You got 3 receivers down here on the right with Hossein, the wide man. On him, as he has been all day, is Cialino. They go short looking for Mckee, and that is incomplete. In coverage was D'Alessandro.
Well, probably one of the throws he'd like to have back right there, maybe Charlie Mckee. Couldn't hook up with Mckee. Kind of a little divide route there, the trips formation and trying to separate all 3 receivers. Find a little seam in there between the walkaway player and the inside linebacker. Couldn't hook it up.
Second down, and again, Mckee checks to the sideline. Looks far sideline, finds Lyson. The ball's fumbled and recovered by Valentine.
Some turn of events right there, Dylan. You have they threw the ball to have Lyson as a single receiver on the boundary side of the field. He just runs a little stop route.
Watch 30.
Up goes low, and the ball comes out, and there's the recovery. That was the corner right there. I think that might have been.
Well, Cobbs has had an unbelievable game. It might have been him out there, but Valentine falling onto the football. So a turnover here for Oceanside in their first drive gives Massapequa the football on the 37-yard line. Heydrich gets a good block by D'Alessandro, pumps the brakes, tries to push forward to the 35-yard line. Hossein on the tackle.
Good play by Hossein right there. Came off the block. Came off the block of the Massapequa receiver and came up, made the play, and it kind of started as a good-looking play by Heydrich there, and kind of kept stretched out to the sideline. They held him to 2 yards. Good defense there by Oceanside.
Gain of 2 on the play. And as we saw with Oceanside, right, Heydrich checks his sideline. It's Cialino on the bottom of your screen, and again, Hossein on him. Love that matchup. Heydrich again, quarterback option. A little stiff arm, protects the football, gets a little late push. No flags, though, thrown. And Heydrich gets a tap on the helmet by Blount as he exits the Oceanside sideline unscathed.
Yeah, keeping the ball again. Heydrich right there on the run. Didn't gain, maybe lost a little bit, tiny little bit right there. I think he was, not. He could have been a little bit more decision at getting downhill there a little bit, and try not to. I'm not in his shoes though, so I can't say I see what he sees, but.
Third down. D'Alessandro gets to the 30, where he's taken down. And again, first half, Mike, 5 of 5 the Chiefs were on 4th down.
Interesting decision they're doing on 3rd down. They ran the football to D'Alessandro. They got about 5.5, almost 6 yards, and left them with a 4th and 3. That's a situation where Coach Shippo's probably told the offensive coordinator, you have 2 downs here, right?
Yeah, I think you're setting it up.
Let's try to half it. Let's try to half the yardage a little bit.
Here we go. 4th down. Heydrich throws. Oh, it's complete again. 6 for 6 on 4th down conversions.
Nice low ball. It's going to get caught to be incomplete right there, and a great catch. Great catch right there. That was Fountain.
Ryan Fountain. Very smooth, makes good cuts. 1st and 10 from the 24-yard line. D'Alessandro, the lone back. He gets it. And finding him was Rossler.
Great play by Rossler. He's the defensive end that they would normally be reading. Looked like they were running wrap there, pulling the tackle, and they'd be reading and they'd be reading him. And he gave the football, Heydrich, to the back. And I think if he had that to do over again, he might have pulled that ball.
Rossler's first tackle for a loss this year. In addition to being a ridiculous athlete, tremendous in the classroom. 1520 SAT, 103 GPA. Here's Heydrich in the air, trying to find Cialino. Hossein on the coverage.
Great battle with two of Nassau County's best skill players right there. You have Hossein and you have Hossein and Cialino going there. And they turn that into like a little skinny post there, slant to a skinny. Good coverage right there.
3rd and 12. Fake handoff. Heydrich goes sideline, far side. That's complete. And move the chains again. Fountain with the reception.
Good stop route by Fountain. Just getting what, there's good chain awareness, right? Knowing what he needs, getting what he needs, getting all of it, and then and coming back to the football a little bit. Good tackle by Oceanside, but he gets the first down.
Fountain, like so many of these guys from that great Massapequa Mustangs program, right? The youth program out in Massapequa.
Yeah, very long time. They've one of the better youth football programs on all of Long Island.
1st and 10 from the 13-yard line. D'Alessandro stopped. He got wrapped up by Lyson, and when you're wrapped up by Lyson, more often than not, you're not getting loose.
Now big man Logan Lyson making the tackle right there. 2nd down and 12. Not much happening there. And an inside running play for D'Alessandro.
Blount calls him one of the best physical big athletes that we've had. Colleges love that type of body, right? 6'3", 225 with the athleticism that he has as well. Heydrich under pressure, and he pushes forward to about the 10 before he's taken down.
Well, it looks like a little sweep. Looks like they're trying a little sweep read there, but looks like Rossler got to the mesh point pretty quick, and he pulled the ball and made the most out of it, getting something rather than a loss.
3rd down. 3rd and 10 from the 14-yard line.
Probably have 2 downs to work with again here,
Yeah.
right? 3rd and 10. Don't necessarily have to get it all at once.
Three receivers on the top of your screen. That's where Heydrich looks. Out of the backfield. Turning, spinning. Touchdown, Massapequa, Jared Howes.
Well done. Great execution right there. I think defensively, Oceanside kind of lost a shallow man there, and we'll see a replay of it coming up here, I believe. They threw into a trip side of the formation. Great catch and run.
So Chalemi, who missed his last extra point attempt. His kick is up, and that is good. So responds well, the freshman does there after his first miss of the season, and he gives Massapequa the 20-14 lead with 7:49 left in this 3rd quarter. We'll take a quick break. You're watching the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Not feeling the love after your last tennis match? We've got specialists for that. Running for the train, derail your knee? We've got specialists for that. Diving after that grounder, leaving you grounded? We've got specialists for that. Orland & Cohen's top orthopedic team has specialized expertise and extensive training from the nation's premier programs in sports medicine, knee, shoulder, hip, spine, hand, foot, and ankle. So you can feel better, faster.
Welcome back to Oceanside. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here. It is the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network. It's lived up to it as well, right? A lot of us have circled this game as soon as the schedule was made. And it's been as advertised to this point. Massapequa back in front now, 20-14. Doing a great job after you create the turnover and then you score the points off those turnovers as well.
Sure, Oceanside was getting the ball coming out of half. Unfortunate fumble by Lyson. And they turn over and they get a touchdown out of it.
Yeah, Chalemi kick. It's fielded and downed was Mckee. So Oceanside looks for the response after Howe's 14-yard TD reception.
Interested to see what happens here now. What direction Coach Brown tries to turn to here, Dylan. You know, he's thrown the ball quite a bit. The running game hasn't been as strong as it's been in previous weeks. I think the Massapequa defense has been pretty stout. See if they can maybe get the running game going a little bit to try to create some balance offensively.
That was a 10-play, 37-yard touchdown drive. Cairo motions out of the backfield. That's a direction that Mckee went, but a little bit too far in front of Cairo, incomplete.
Yeah, that time they motioned Cairo out, and the Massapequa guys did shuffle a little bit with him, and they kind of covered him immediately. And he came over a couple reads, and a little bit of pressure upfield. Looks like big number 76 at defensive end there. Menachini had a little bit of pressure, and threw the ball away.
I want to thank, as we have an opportunity here, Joe Giannotti handling the stats for us. Just like Mckee knows when he's got those big guys in front of him, the protection, how he feels good, right? We feel pretty good when Joe G's handling the stats for us. We thank him for doing that here this afternoon and last night as well for that Sayville West Hampton Beach game. Mckee in motion and nowhere to go. Dylan Wakely with the tackle on Mckee.
So they ran a motion there, motioned the receiver across, and turned into a little sweep read play, and Mckee pulled it and kept it, but Massapequa was having none of it up front. They've kind of moved some guys around a little bit, Dylan. We spoke about it earlier. It looks like Corvino now is playing left tackle, and they brought in someone else to play, another player to play center, Andrew Cagno, a junior, number 53, I think, is playing center.
Yeah, Corvino was there to start, right? Broderick was at left tackle. Diaz was at left guard. Stalter and Alvarez were on the other side of the line. 3rd and 11. Cairo again motions to the right. Looks for the ball. Mckee instead goes downfield. Has options. He finds Kramer. Double team. Still makes the grab.
Kind of wondered, Dylan, when they were going to take a deep shot, right? And they took it to the side of the field with Cialino on it. Just ran 2 deep routes. And that ball was in the air, and Kramer made it. I think Cialino saw the ball in the air and just couldn't get to it. He came off his coverage to be part of a double team and couldn't get to it in time.
Mckee pump fakes. Flushed out, and he's tackled and taken down by Wakely again. His second tackle on this series. But what you love on that previous play by Mckee, he put it right between those 2 Massapequa defenders. There was a small window there, and he hit him exactly where he needed to be.
Well, they had 2 receivers both running vertical routes, one like just inside the hash, around the hash, and one on the sideline, and put the ball right where it had to be. Kramer made a great catch, and I think Cialino kind of saw it coming and just couldn't get there in time.
Yeah, you had Cialino and Howes were your 2 guys in the secondary for Massapequa.
Looks like here you're flipping Hossein over to the left side, and Cialino went with him. So it's matchup coverage here.
Mano a mano on that top of your screen. We go the other way though. Mckee connects to Mckee, and he was out of bounds at looks like the 17-yard line.
There's your RPO right there, Dylan. Right, looking like you're running your power RPO, and he pulls the ball. He's got one man he's reading. If that man steps to the run at all, he's going to pull it and throw it to Mckee. That's just a very difficult play to defend. It's stealing 8 yards right there. You know, they lost a yard, I think, on first down, stealing about 8 yards.
3rd and 4. Empty backfield now for Mckee. Mecca Hossein at the bottom of your screen. You've got 3 receivers at the top. Mckee looks near side, finds Mecca. That's complete. Does he move the chains, though? No, it looks like he's just shy. Or I shouldn't say, 2 yards shy, I guess, of it.
Mckee went to his quick read, and Cialino was kind of on it and made a really nice tackle.
So 4th and 3. We've seen pretty much nothing but both coaches going for it on 4th down. Why change now?
4th down's been the down.
Absolutely.
Once again, you don't really need it. You don't need a touchdown. You need a first down right here. So a little hitch, a little comeback route could be there for you.
Mckee has time, finds Mecca again. He's forced out of bounds.
That's clinic video right there. That's Mecca running a whip route in and out. Really nice route. Very hard to cover in those situations. You know, those short yardage situations. Looks like it's going to be a first down.
Yeah, we don't need the chains there. Miller read where that ball was, so you move the chains. Great job. By Mckee and the Sailors on offense. So they've got a 1st and 10 now from the 13-yard line.
Heavyweight fight here, Dylan. Everyone's getting their turn. Got Massapequa getting backed into the corner right now a little bit.
And we'll stay again with the empty backfield. Mckee under pressure, and he is sacked. Wakely was the first one in, and then Yanner came in after him. Big play by the front of Massapequa, who, as we mentioned, are giving up a good amount of size.
Really good. Yeah, they've given up some size, but they a little bit of a coverage sack there as well. You know, Dylan, looked like the Massapequa guys had good coverage. He had an underneath route, had a vertical route and an out, all kind of covered up. He never wanted to throw the ball to. And McKee's got good escapability. He's just, you know, he's doing the right thing offensively and hanging in there and trying to find the open receiver.
A loss of 3 for Mckee. This time he has a friend in the backfield with him. That is Mecca. Handoff, maybe some trickery here. Going end zone, that's incomplete. The pass attempt was Kramer. And that was incomplete.
Looked like that was a little jet sweep pass coming, a little trickeration there coming, but snap was a little low and kind of fouled up the operation a little bit.
First time we've seen Blount go to his bag of tricks here this afternoon.
Hey, both these teams do run those kind of plays now. I give the offensive coaches a lot of credit on both teams. You know, they do a really good job of coaching it. They don't look gimmicky. They look really well practiced. Brian Rasp called the plays. I don't know if he's still calling the plays. Massapequa he has in the past and doing a great job of it. And none of their both type of plays ever look like it's a gimmick.
3rd and 13. And look at this look here for Oceanside. Mckee. Oh, and it's dropped. That's one of those situations where Mecca saw that open space in front of him, right? Tried to turn and run into it before catching the football.
Great play design there by Oceanside. They went empty formation, nobody in the backfield. They went a bunch trips to the one side of the field left and 2 receivers to the right, and they just basically picked on the fact that Massapequa had a little soft coverage to the 2 receiver side, and Mecca unfortunately dropped. They didn't want to have that one back because you rarely see that of a player of his ability. He had a lot of room to run around there.
4th and 13 for Oceanside from the 17-yard line. So, again, you can get a first down. It doesn't have to be end zone here.
Same formation, Dylan.
Yes.
Looks like.
Let's see if they go back to Mecca again. Mckee flips the football. Tons of time. Rolls out to the right. Continues to roll. Fires. End zone. Incomplete. The intended target was Kramer.
So that was a max protect situation right there, Dylan. They used those trips formation receivers to protect them. It was basically a 2 receiver route. I think Coach Brown is really upset that deep in the pattern there was definitely contact made with a receiver, and there wasn't a penalty called. So turnover on downs there by the Sailors, but I think Coach Blount was looking for something there.
So how about Massapequa defensively their first 2 series, right? You force a turnover, which results in a score, and then you get a stop on 4th down.
There was a flag down, Dylan. They were using those breast cancer awareness month.
Yeah, see it
flags,
right
so
there.
they're actually in some ways easier to see.
Yeah.
Not sure what the discussion is about here, but
Well, whatever it is, Blount's not happy about it.
the home fans aren't happy because Blount's not happy.
He's being escorted off the field.
I do think, Dylan, I do think he has something to really, has a little bit of a complaint there. I'm not sure what was going on with that contact down the field, but Mckee had nobody open.
This is what you love, too, about Miller, right, where he's having the conversation with Rob Blount, right? I think any coach just hates just to have a guy not listen to him, right? And Miller, the veteran, is letting Rob Blount have his say. It's not going to change his mind, certainly, right? But
now, usually not changing. They're definitely not changing their mind, but trying to maybe influence it for something later in the game, another series, another play.
so Massapequa bends but don't break defensively. So they forced 2 turnovers, one with the fumble, the second on downs, and they have to go 80 yards to try to find the end zone again. 1st and 10, trying to bounce to the outside was Cialino, but McCann in on the tackle.
Nice play by McCann, the outside linebacker on the bounce, squared up, got a very, very nice tackle by McCann. First time calling his name today.
Yeah, junior, first-year starter. They call him, Lyson, and Rossler the Mules out of that linebacker spot. Big athletic types, all 3 of them. He's that 3rd tight end and fullback as well, McCann. No gain on 1st down. And there's that chess match that you talked about, right? A lot of pointing and looking around for both teams. Heydrich again, the handoff. Comes to this sideline. Cialino is forced out of bounds again.
I'm kind of pulling a lineman there, but good job by Oceanside with the defenders. Nice run by Cialino, though. Gets about 6 or almost 7 of the yards, total yards. Got the yard back and 6 more. So you got a pretty manageable 3rd down and 4 here for Massapequa.
And he's out at the 25-yard line. Mckee currently being checked out on the sideline. I think he took a pretty good hit on that last play. 3rd and 5. Low snap. Heydrich goes over the middle, and Broderick, big tackle. Somehow, Fountain evaded that tackle, but then McCann came in as well.
They're going to give him the first down yardage. You know, I think Coach Blount's saying that he gave up yards to get back to get the game, but they're not going to do that. They're going to put it there, and they give him a first down. And this has been Massapequa's thing all day, you know, Dylan. They've done a great job on those. When they need to get a first down or need to make a play, they get just enough. They run a hitch. They run a comeback.
And how many times has it been Fountain, right? I feel like on these conversions or when they move the chains, more often than not, it's Fountain getting the exact amount of yards that you need. That recognition you mentioned, right, of the sticks. 1st and 10 from the 30. Heydrich over the middle, goes deep and incomplete, looking for the aforementioned Fountain.
Yep, Fountain kind of came open a little bit late there.
And he's that second option because you've got to obviously game plan for Cialino, right? So now that's your second guy, your other guy who can come in and impact the game from that position. He's done a great job of that thus far.
Yeah, and McCormick in the game there playing a little defense right there, Dylan. We didn't think we were going to maybe see him today, correct? Getting a little time.
By the way, that penalty was because, and you called it a few times, Mckee threw the ball past the line of scrimmage. Here's Yanner. Yanner past midfield, the big tight end out to the 31-yard line.
Dylan, we come to these games, and there's always a player you haven't heard of, or you don't know. Well, you heard about him. You spoke to the coach. He tells you the starters, but you haven't really heard of him, if you know what I mean. And I think the guy from Massapequa who was discovering Fountain a little bit, but Yanner is the guy. He's made a few great catches, and he's played really well on the defensive side of the ball. He's that guy, but all of a sudden, who is this guy? He's for real.
I think Oceanside remembers him because he was the guy who caught the 2-point conversion at the end of that championship game, right? So that's a 5-point game. It makes it 7. So Oceanside, I mean, of course, if they score, they can go for 2 to try to win it, but you've got to get the 7, right, to tie it. So an official's timeout on that play, as actually looks like Yanner went down.
I think he was cramping. He's our first cramp guy of the day. Beautiful day here. We might as well talk about the weather a little bit, right? Beautiful afternoon here in Oceanside. About 72 degrees, 73 degrees. A little breeze, as there always is when you come down here.
Yeah.
But there's always a breeze at Oceanside High School. But what a great day and an unbelievable crowd. And like I said before, this is a bit of a heavyweight fight, and they're going to take some shots. And Glass Joe is not here.
You know, you can make the, is it a rivalry, right? Is it a rivalry game? And maybe you'd say that for Oceanside and Shippos. And look, you know it well from being on the Farmingdale side for so many years. The rivalry for Massapequa is the Dalers, right? So, but this has turned out to be some good games. Good blocking there on that route run by Cialino. It was Fountain. Again, it's been Hossein, right, and Cialino, but watch what Fountain does here, too, to block Hossein to allow Cialino those extra yards.
You just have to get a touch. You don't got to block. We don't got to get our guys all locked up, but then run to the football. You just got to get touches. Cialino will make guys miss, and that's a really nice play right there. They really haven't ran that today, that bubble action, and pull that out right now, and that's a good change-up. You know, once again, Dylan, these edge plays are making the defenders run to the football. You're getting 8, 9, 10 guys running the width of the field. It does tire them out a little bit. I guess make guys pre-tired.
2nd and 2 from the 24-yard line. Final minute of the third quarter. Heydrich's got Cialino behind him. That's where he hands off. Good cut to the outside by Cialino. Gets out of bounds. Forced out by Hossein. But they will move the chains again.
Tell you, Massapequa was a physical bunch, boy, and they love to run the football. And I know they've thrown for quite a bit of passing yards, saying some touchdowns. But you know, at the base of what they do is finding ways to run the football out of a variety of formations and a variety of plays. And once again, they're getting that ball downhill and eating up the clock and yardage and physical play up front.
Luke Cialino came into this game with 7 carries for 46 yards. Miller informing Heydrich of how much time he's got left on the play clock. Has blockers. He's pulled down from behind by Jack Hickam, senior linebacker. Good line on Hickam on the year. 4 tackles, a sack, an interception, a tackle for a loss. When Miller went out last year injured, Hickam did a great job. And then he also won the spot over the summer. An athletic kid. Does a great job sealing the edge. Two-time varsity player, a lacrosse player as well.
Sure, a lot of multi-sport athletes are on both these teams, you know.
Multi-sport coach as well for Rob Blount.
Was told Charlie Mckee was some baseball player when he was younger. Decided, work of just being a quarterback because for obviously good reasons, but heard he was some baseball player when he was younger.
We're going to have a hell of a final 12 minutes of this one. At the end of 3, it's Massapequa 20, Oceanside 14. It's the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Over the middle, he's got a man. It's complete. Cialino. See you later.
Going long, wide open, Perazzi, he gets it, Perazzi, foot raise, 10, 5, make it, touchdown, punch, power punch.
With a trickery, Ryder gets it back, goes over the top for Haberman.
What a catch! This Ross Simmons strips him, that's loose, and Ross Simmons is going to take this the other direction. Make it, touchdown, touchdown East.
Welcome back to Oceanside. Dylan Butler, Mike Hungerford here. The final 12 minutes of this one. It has been a great one. Massapequa with a 20-14 lead over Oceanside going into the fourth quarter. We do so with Massapequa facing a 2nd and 8 from the Oceanside 16.
Got a little jump around going here. Fans are excited. Came here. The game is not disappointed, right?
Absolutely not.
Well, I mean, if you're an Oceanside fan right now, you're behind on the score. But if you're up here with us and you just came to see a great high school football game, you're in the right place. It is not disappointed one bit.
Wanted to shout out my guy, Greg Dietrich from the Mustangs out there. Former classmate of mine out at St. Francis Prep, played football there for the great Vince O'Connor. He said, make sure you shout out my boy Ryan Fountain. I'm like, I don't think we're going to have a problem with that. We're not searching for material with Fountain. End zone. Oh, in and out of the hands. A flag, though, on the play in the backfield. How about that look to Robbie Nugent, 88.
You had a little bit of the University of Florida quarterback who also was a baseball player. A little jump pass, a little fake jump pass, right?
So an offensive holding penalty on the Chiefs. We're backing it up.
Who's that man?
Are you going Tebow? Is that what you're calling?
Tim Tebow, baby. That's right. In my opinion, one of the very greatest. Forget he couldn't play in the NFL. He couldn't figure the NFL out. In my opinion, one of the very greatest college football players of all time. You wouldn't want to play with him?
No, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Put me in front of a team with him. Put me in front of a team any day. Guy was a warrior.
2nd and 17 from the 25-yard line. Heydrich rolls right. Again tries to find Nugent. Incomplete. Cairo in coverage.
Big target in Nugent at 6'3", and number 88. Trying to get him on a comeback there that time with a little corner roll, and just couldn't hook it up. Ball was a little high.
Through 3 quarters, Mckee, 19 of 28 for 232 yards, 2 touchdowns. Mckee, the primary receiver, 9 for 77. Heydrich, 14 of 22, 174 yards. Also 12 carries for 32 yards. Heydrich under pressure. Intercepted by Rossler. Rossler runs downfield. He's tackled from behind by Cialino. Rossler, the INT, and the 309 is going crazy.
This is football, Dylan. Turn of events, plays happen. Massapequa trying to run a little screen, little running back screen. It actually looked like they had it set up pretty well, except that the unblocked defensive end right there, who was supposed to be an upfield rusher, makes the interception. And Rossler, of course, 6'5", right? Puts his arms up, and maybe he's 7
How about 6'6", 240?
6'6", and he's at least almost 7 feet tall with the arms up, and caught to throw it around him. And
you give Broderick credit there for the initial pressure, right? And then Rossler rolling downfield, rumbling up the field as well, forcing the tackle by Cialino. And back and forth we go in this heavyweight fight.
Charlie McKee's turn right here. Here you go, Charlie.
Do you go end zone here? He doesn't. He goes short for Kramer. He's tackled at about the 30. He's inbounds, though, as the clock continues to churn.
Good job right there. You know, the last series wasn't a really great series at the end for the Oceanside team offensively. You know, a couple incompletions and a couple not so great looking plays. So start something simple, right? Throw it out there. Get it in one of your best players' hands and let him run around with it and get some confidence built back up again, and here we go.
6-yard gain on first down, so 2nd and 4.
Got Lyson here as a wide out the bottom of the screen.
And Cairo next to Mckee.
Big size advantage and a pretty good cushion here being offered up here.
Mckee goes the opposite side, finds Mecca, breaks the first tackle, doesn't get past Cialino, who makes the tackle.
Great open field tackles. They're rallying to the football by Massapequa, getting a first, second, third guy there. You know, the other ball is in Mckee's hands. He's electric in the open field and hard to bring down. So you got 3rd and short. Definitely have 2 plays here, right, Dylan? To get 3 yards.
Yeah, 3rd and 2 from the 29-yard line. That was Jake Cialino with the tackle. Came into this game with 5 tackles.
Looks like they're going with a heavy package here, bringing in number 8, another tight end in the game, and Lyson.
McGann in there as well as Lyson.
Run the quarterback. There you go.
Here he comes. Mckee cuts inside. He's getting the push as well. Some of those big dudes up front trying to get that extra push. It'll be short of the first down. Oh, excuse me, they do move the chains.
Chain crew's a little behind.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, they're winded, I think, right now. They've been moving up and down a lot.
Now, there you go. I was going to say, optical illusion.
Low snap. Mckee looks left, checks out of that, rolls out, pulls up the middle, and he gets just shy of the 20-yard line.
And they brought Ebel in the game there on the change of personnel. And I saw Coach Brown speaking to him a little bit. I think they may be trying to get him on a wheel route, but it didn't materialize. He got covered up there, and the great decision by Mckee to run and get 6 yards.
Taken down at the 21-yard line. 2nd down and 4.
I think Charlie's done a great job of hanging in and trying to find the open man, you know, and I think actually he take a couple walk and run with it, Charlie, and you know, don't hang in as long maybe. What do I know?
3 receivers at the bottom of your screen. There were 2. Instead, a fake jet sweep. Intercepted! Cialino down the Massapequa sideline, pushed out at the 40. There's 2 Cialinos in the backfield. You got to give credit to the right one, right? That's Luke with the INT.
Looks like he had a little RPO on there, right? And he pulls the ball off the jet sweep action, and great interception by Cialino. I know Mckee would like to have that one back.
Luke Cialino missed some time early in the year. Had his appendix removed, so he played a little bit against Port Washington. Looked pretty good. Big defensive play, another big one from Massapequa. That's 3 defensive plays for them in the second half. Of course, Rossler we saw just before with an INT of his own.
Back and forth, it's turning into a classic right here, Dylan, of back and forth plays, and a lot happening right here. 8:47 to go. If Massapequa get one of those drives going, they could bring the clock down pretty far if they get the ball moving.
1st and 10 from the 40. Heydrich options to the left, and he's pulled out of bounds at about the 46-yard line. Coming into this game, there's only been 1 interception thrown this year by Mckee.
Yeah, he threw an interception against Farmingdale on a deep ball very early in the game, you know, and that was the second one. And he throws the ball a lot, you know. They throw a lot of passes, and they trust him a lot, and the ball's thrown a lot, so it is going to happen every now and then. All depending on when the timing of it is. And you see on 1st down that Heydrich was in a read play there. Zone read pulled the ball. That's the best run he's had in quite a while, actually. There he goes again.
Heydrich gets a couple more, right? You're just churning. You're just getting 3 yards on each down, and maybe as importantly, right, you continue to have that clock move.
You know, pretty familiar with both programs, Dylan, and I know Massapequa, one of the staples of their offense is, like we said earlier in the game, is running the quarterback, getting him his carries, because they treat him like a runner. And you know, if you're on a team where you have one quarterback and you have no capable backup quarterback, pretty hard to run the quarterback like that much. But Massapequa always seems to have a capable and beyond capable backup quarterback, and so running the quarterback is they're not afraid of doing it. It's just part of what they do.
3rd and 1. Diving forward. So Lyson had the tackle in the backfield, but Cialino dove forward.
I think he's just going to be a little short, Dylan.
He is right at midfield. And he is that close. 4th and inches.
These are those big money decisions here, Dylan. Here it is right here, right?
Our last count was what? 6 of 6 on 4th down conversions for Massapequa this afternoon.
Coach Shippo's going for it right here.
You've got D'Alessandro and Cialino in the backfield. Now Cialino options left. Heydrich lowers the shoulder, powers forward for the first down.
Great job. Everybody, if they had not have made that first down and given the ball to Oceanside and somehow lost the game, everybody at Massapequa would be talking about it. But you know what? Coach Shippo trusts his guys. There's nothing like an offensive lineman being told on 4th and 1, your coach says go for it. It's the greatest feeling in the world. I got you, coach. We'll get it. We'll get what you need. And that's a confidence-building thing. As Kizzy said early on, right, it's only week 4, but there's a long way to go, right? It's just another game in the season, albeit a very important one, and that's building tremendous confidence in your offensive line.
Mckee with a big block on that one. Heydrich. Bob Miller checks the play clock. Does just get it off. Hands it off to D'Alessandro. Turns upfield, and he's met by a host of sailors. Gets about a yard on first down.
Dylan, the drive started. I looked at the clock. I think it's at 8:47 when they got the ball. I think right around the time it was. And then now they're down to 5:57 and running. So they've eaten a couple minutes off the clock already with the running game. Right now, Oceanside doesn't have Rossler in the game. He's over here on the sidelines getting attended to. Hopefully he's okay.
It's not a factor yet, right? You'd say, clock, because of course Oceanside still has their timeouts, but it's getting late pretty early. Completion down that far side to Jake Cialino.
Sure, a little short completion. Jose right on it. That's a good battle right there. You're not going to go to that matchup probably too much considering the ability of Jose on defense, but Cialino's able to get you a couple, stay in bounds, keep the clock moving. 3rd and 7. Coach Shippo's down there by the offensive coaches and by the coaches signaling the plays in. Probably letting them know right now, do you have 2 plays? Do you have 1 play? If it's a 4th and 2, can you go? Impact the play calling.
Rolling to the left. Heydrich throws it up in the air and ends up into the sideline. Intended target was Cialino, and it looked like that was one that just Heydrich lost control of.
He slipped out of his hand a little bit, but he had a player open, it looked like, a little quarter roll to the sideline.
So 4th down here. Again, they are perfect on 4th down conversions. And they even went for it, right, on the fake punt before. But Heydrich back to punt. And Kramer, the lone man deep. So this could be a game or a situation of field positioning, right? Heydrich gets the punt off. It's a high one. Good coverage down the field. Takes a bounce. Cialino will field it at about the 15-yard line.
Very nice punt by Heydrich. Very, very nice.
We'll take a quick break. It's 4:46 left in this one. Don't go away. It's the Orland and Cohen Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
McCarthy. He's got. He's in. Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside!
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage, and one of many threes on the day.
Interviews, and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream.
On first down, it's Hossein.
Ball.
It's loose. It's recovered. I think Oceanside. No, they go the other way. I thought Oceanside fell on it. And instead, it's number 4, D'Alessandro. Another look, Mike.
They run a bubble out here to Hossein. Blocked up pretty nice. He's running around with it, and someone gets a hand in there. That was a great hand. If you're Massapequa, much to the chagrin of Oceanside. Oh, Hossein, what turn of events for a great player like he is.
And it looked like the big fella had it, right? I think that was Corvino, and then just wrestling it away.
The old slippery pigskin.
So Massapequa, I mean, they are just feasting defensively in this second half. And what an opportunity here for the Chiefs.
What a good play call, though. I mean, they had it blocked up. Everything was good. Tough turn of events for the Sailors.
4:39 left. Heydrich goes to the air to Cialino, and whoa, Hossein read that. Not only did he read it, I thought he was jumping that route, and where he was, we'll take another look. Mike, that could have been a pick 6.
That could have been a pick 6 right there. That's a corner's dream if he gets unblocked there versus the bubble. I thought, from where Hossein aligned himself he was a little too close to the receiver to throw a bubble there, but second down here.
Yeah, no gain. Loss of 3 on that. Heydrich goes deep, looking for a man. That's incomplete. That was Howes, number 2. A little bit surprised, considering where you are in the field and the time, that you're not running the football a little bit more just to keep that clock going.
Well, I guess maybe you're thinking that you take a shot there, and if you hook it up, all of a sudden the game could be over. And, you'd be up by 2 scores with under 4 minutes to go. Could be a pretty good situation. But now you've stopped the clock. And you probably have 2 downs here, right? You're going to be in a 4th down situation maybe again, Dylan, right?
Yeah, it's not a field goal situation.
A good pass rush by Oceanside right there. Xavier Miller looked like he got to him and put a good hit on him as he was throwing the football. And Heydrich was a little beat up there.
The chance of defense coming up from the 309.
A lot of time here.
And a little too much time, right? A delay of game called. I think that's the call, right? Or did they get a timeout out of it? So they did get the timeout before. Miller picks up his flag. Blount not happy with that.
Of course, Dylan, in high school football, the play clock is kept on the field by the white hat, by Bob Miller's keeping the play clock. And he has hand signals to kind of let them know when you're running out of time, 10 seconds left and everything. And Massapequa just squeezed the timeout there.
So week 4, huge showdown here. And let's take a look at what the future brings for both of these teams. You see for Oceanside, they host Port Washington, and they go to Syosset before East Meadow and Freeport ending this season. Massapequa, they're at Freeport, Plainview, JFK, Hempstead, and then how about that week 8 matchup? The Dalers and the Chiefs. One of the best rivalries in all of Long Island.
Well,
I think if you're Shippos, and he said that's our rivalry, right? And Buddy Krumracher will say the same exact thing out at Farmingdale. I think you like to go into the playoffs with a game like that. You don't want to get beat up. You don't want injuries, but you want that sort of intense environment heading into the postseason.
It's always a little scary, I think, Dylan, when you slide in a little bit, maybe you haven't played a couple tough opponents in a row. It's been real easy. Like, you're really ready, But that will not be easy for either team. And I think Oceanside, regardless of what happens here in the next 4 minutes, they'll be the favorite the rest of the way through. They'll be the favorite even with a loss on their schedule. They'll have played Farmingdale and Massapequa already. And with Freeport and Syosset left, they'll be favorites on that schedule.
3rd and 13 from the 12. Handoff, D'Alessandro throws himself forward. He does stay in bounds. It'll be 4th down. No timeout taken there by Oceanside to stop the clock. And yeah, I think you're right, Mike. Certainly, no matter where you are, right, or you're at the 28. So even if you get stopped here, even if you're hit for a loss of a couple yards, you've got Oceanside having to go long field. So anything here is gravy. And if you, in fact, move the chains, might be a little more. Here we go. Heydrich rolls right under pressure. Heydrich looks complete to Fountain and the flag.
What a great route by Fountain. Happened to be right in front of us, Dylan, by the press box. We had a great view of it. You know, little quarter roll there to avoid the inside pressure by Heydrich. And Fountain runs a great route. He's the only outside receiver here. You see they get the back out in the flat. A little three-level flood, and Heydrich with Fountain with a little comeback route. What a great route by Fountain, sitting down on it. That's something they do in practice probably all the time. Timing involved. And I mentioned a man before, number 5. I mentioned to you it would be a guy we talk about, Yanner. Yeah. Well, how about Fountain?
Hey, my guy Greg Dietrich was on it, right? Talk about Ryan Fountain. No problem.
Well, the problem with Cialino is he's got over there he has a great coverage man on him. It's not going to be easy. So who can you find?
First and goal. Heydrich cuts inside, continues into the end zone. Touchdown for Massapequa. A 4-yard touchdown run for Ryan Heydrich.
I'll tell you, Dylan, when that started, I'm thinking to myself, he's not getting a yard. But they just kept moving a little bit. And Heydrich makes a couple little nifty cuts here. Running the quarterback again, right? Man on a man, a couple blocks. They could have had him. They missed right there. A little cuts. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Now the question here, do you go for 2? You make sure you get a 14-point lead, and they will.
Well, Dylan, everyone's got the go for 2 chart up there, and there's someone responsible for looking at it, and totally makes sense to go for 2 here. They're up by 12. Could be 14 if they get it.
Heydrich looks end zone. Great tackle by McGann, stopping Cialino.
Great play by McGann.
Yes. Still, though, as you said, look, we love the decision there, right? Because I wondered when you miss that PAT, how long are you going to chase that? But that's a great spot to take it in.
Well, right there, you're up by. The thinking is you're up by 12. If they score 2 touchdowns and they get 28, you're in trouble. You're gonna be 28-28. If you don't make it, they still need 2 touchdowns to beat you.
How about the Massapequa students there, huh?
Late arriving crowd, Massapequa before the game. We didn't see too many of them, but they've made their way in and they've been treated to a dandy here.
Well, there wasn't many places to park for these poor guys, right? They might be out on Atlantic Avenue somewhere.
I think they're parking in Rockville Center. Can I get an Uber to my car? Who's got the Uber to my car?
Well, you got a special ride. Like, you were smart about it. You planned your whole day.
Oh, I have.
Right, your wife dropped you off. Little dinner in Long Beach. I like it. Beautiful night.
I got it all figured out. Tell you what, though, several people asked me during the week, people in school, other people asked me, heard I was doing the broadcast today. And what do you think? Who's going to win? I had absolutely no idea. I really didn't know what to say. I hadn't seen Massapequa in person. I had seen Oceanside. I was very impressed by Oceanside. And that's no disrespect against them. I just have a tremendous respect for Massapequa and their program and their great coaching staff and obviously a number of really good players.
And what's remarkable to think, too, right, is they are 3 minutes and 3 seconds away from consecutive wins at Oceanside. This whole atmosphere, everything we're talking about, the game day experience, how good Oceanside has been, that is remarkable. There's still work to be done if you are Massapequa. Oceanside will not make it easy.
Kramer with a great return.
He's a tough guy to take down. So he gets out to, looks like the 43-yard line.
There's a flag. Maybe a face mask.
Came at the end, right, of the play.
Dylan, just before we have this little interruption, the stat of the game. Massapequa was 8 for 8 on 4th down.
That's incredible.
That is steel nerves by the coaches and trust and execution by the players.
How many games have you even heard of a team going for it 8 times, let alone getting all of those 8?
It boggles
right? Maybe 2 times in a game, 3
it's a
times.
mind-boggling situation. I guess there was no flag there, Dylan. I think we're just going to play on.
It was a sideline warning.
Yep. Well, people are excited right now. They got to give the officials a sideline to work.
1st and 10 from the 42. Hurry up offense here for Mckee. Dumps it down to Kramer. He gets out of bounds at the Massapequa 49-yard line.
So, the little dink and dunk there, get 8 yards. If you're Massapequa, it's 2:48. You're ahead by 2 scores. You want the clock to work. Obviously, if you can stop them from scoring, would be wonderful. But
another short one to Kramer, up the sideline, gets out of bounds. So again, the clock will stop, and the chains will move. So that stat, yes, right? 8 for 8, remarkable. But then also those individual plays defensively that Massapequa has come up with in the second half have been huge. The Cialino pick, the fumble recovery as well. 2 fumble recoveries, one that led to a score. Mckee pump fake. Now he goes long. Looks far side. Oh, in and out of the hands of Hossein. And he looks to be a little bit shaken up. The other Cialino in coverage.
So they had an underneath route with a deep route combo. And the safety gets over the top late.
Cialino.
I wouldn't say late. I apologize for saying late, but maybe just in time, Toughest part about being a safety, right? You're on the hash, get off the hash, get there. And especially with a man of the arm strength of Charlie Mckee.
Mckee looks back that way, finds Hossein. Nice
Good
stiff arm as well, gets out of bounds and moves the chains.
Good job by Hossein. He seems like he's almost about to get out of it, right?
Richie Hossein, transfer from St. Anthony's. Dad played at St. John's for Bob Ricca back when, St. John's had football.
The pigskin variety, right? Not just soccer, right? So always been good at soccer, St. John's.
1st and 10 from the 31. Hossein again. Fakes, continues. Oh, nice cut. Stays in bounds. Taken down at about the 15. So good yak for Hossein. And Oceanside moving the football. And with the ability, Mike, that they have in the kicking game, we've seen it so often, Mckee, plenty of time. Finds a man. That's Mecca. That's a touchdown. 15-yard score for Mecca. This one far from over.
Yeah, Mecca. They run a little crossing pattern, a little high-low crossers, and Mecca is the low crosser, and he gets lost. They've been trying to get to that all day, and Massapequa's done a good job against. They get Mecca on the low cross, and he's able to run in for the touchdown.
So Maurizio on for the PAT. He will play a big role in these next few seconds of this game. His point after attempt is up, and it is good. So it's a 26-21 game. Massapequa the lead with 2:12 left.
Onside kick looming here, Dylan, right?
100%, right? It's got to be.
Well, Coach Brown with onside kick in the third quarter with it score very different. So it's definitely coming here. They've definitely built. They practiced before.
Yeah, you've said on a number of occasions, right? You've always got to be aware of this in their game. They went pooch at the end of the second quarter, right?
Yep.
But here, this should be an onside kick. You see the guys who are going to line up.
Interestingly enough, in high school football, the onside kick is still alive and well. It's kind of been taken out of professional football to a degree by the rules and and how they enforce the rules on kicking off. And so the ball's got to travel 10 yards. It can't be short, but the receiving team can cross over,
right?
And then it's a live ball.
Correct.
And it's a live ball.
And we see that. How many times do we see that too, right? Where you just kind of lose where you are in the field if you're the receiving team and you want to get to the football, but when you make that move, that's a live football.
We always tell the kids, be an athlete. Be an athlete. If you think it's yours and you want to go get it, live with the decision, make an athletic choice, right? Because, there's a difference between waiting for it and knowing you're going to get hit or going and getting it.
All right, so the bottom of your screen, you've got Lyson, Cairo, Kramer, and Mckee.
Some pretty fast guys right there.
Oh, yeah. That's your scat guys. And you've got Cialino, Fountain on the other side as well.
Maybe you got Holy Roller coming here, too, in the middle.
Comes down to this. 2:12 left. Maurizio
Holy Roller
goes middle. It's recovered. Looked like that was their receiver.
Number 88.
Yeah.
Great job.
Robbie Nugent. That's something they've practiced, and Nugent's caught that ball in practice, I guarantee you, but there's no threat of getting hit in practice, right? There's no feeling of getting hit, and he makes that play, but right there's a lot of feeling of getting hit. So a little technical. Oh, there we go. 2:12 left. Right, so now, not the end of the world if you're Oceanside, right? You've got Massapequa 1st and 10 from the 50, but you've got 2 timeouts left as well.
Yeah, you got 2 timeouts, so, depending on what happens with the ball in these first plays, a first down would probably win the game for Massapequa. That's what it'll come down to.
Here we go. Heydrich, hands off. Cialino. He's stuffed by McGann. Quick timeout by Oceanside. He gets back to the original line of scrimmage. Blount called a timeout. There's 2:07 left. He's got, I believe, 1 timeout remaining. Let's make it 2. He's got 2 timeouts remaining. Both teams with 2 timeouts left.
Changes things a little bit there, Dylan.
So another stop, another timeout, right? 1 more. Now it's 4th down. Now that's where we can get really interesting, right? We already said 8 for 8 in Massapequa. I mean, we're getting ahead of ourselves. It was only first down here, but
I think the interesting thing is, if you're Massapequa, Oceanside is playing the run hard. Boxes full of people. They're coming hard to the run. Do you have an educated or I hate educated gamble because you're calling the play. You're calling the play you want to see. You're not reacting to a play. It's not like, we're going to throw the ball and you're pulling out of a hat. You get to decide what play you want to run. The gamble is, do we try to throw the football here, and a first down might end the game for us.
Oh, while we have a chance, we saw there number 51 for Oceanside, still in his jersey, but certainly out. Michael First, big injury for them, tough guy to lose. Junior broke his finger, had surgery, a 3-year starter. Michael First, 51, sorely missed for Oceanside. A little out route. Can he stay in? He's trying to be forced out.
Good play right there.
Yeah, 22 with the run. Joe Fazio.
Interesting enough, Dylan, Hossein was not in the game on defense right there. It looks like they had another corner in playing coverage.
Oh, excuse me, that was 15, Cialino.
Yep, so they went to Cialino against the other corner. Just happened to be able to look and see that Cialino's was not being covered by him right there.
So big play for a variety of reasons, but mostly because it moves the chains. Could that be the decisive play? Ball protection will be important. Heydrich rolls left and just falls down at the 40, and Oceanside calls another timeout, so they'll have 1 remaining. If Mckee can get back on the field, which right now is a big if. He's 27 of 38 for 312 yards, 3 touchdowns, and that interception.
Well, I got to tell you, Dylan, how about the trust of the Massapequa coaching staff with a first-year starting quarterback, Ryan Heydrich, starting his 4th game of his career in the waning moments of a 1-touchdown game against Oceanside, at Oceanside, and you let him throw he rears back there and throws a pass to Cialino and they get a first down. That's tremendous trust, and that's, that's awesome stuff. Just great. He's going to, I don't know what's going to happen in the next 123, but Ryan Heydrich can go home and feel pretty good about himself and about his trust within the coaching staff and the rest of the players on the team.
Well, a few things there, right, is when we spoke to Shippos coming in, he said, look, he's running our offense. Our strength is him as our leader. And so they certainly already have that trust. He's not earning it just here, but it's also about how cool and calm and collected he is in these pressure situations. And hey, by the way, he was right behind the guy in Giller who was legit as well. Heydrich, and look at that smart play, right? Gets the outside and just gets down, stays in bounds, and it looks like he forces, yes he does, Oceanside's final timeout of the game.
Oceanside might be able to get the ball back there, Dylan, though, because it's 1:15. The clock's going to start. They're going to run a play. Mr. Miller is not going to, what the play clock is. So the play clock very quick.
While we have a chance, wanted to let everybody know who's jumping on to watch this one. We got a great one next week as well in the Catholic High School Football League. The Friars of St. Anthony's taking on Archbishop Stepinac. 1:30 opening kickoff for that one outside Donnelly Field in South Huntington. If you watch those highlights we showed at halftime, Dante Torres, KJ Duff, all over those highlights. You want to check those guys out again against Archbishop Stepinac. Certainly 2 of the top teams in the Catholic League AAA. That's big boy Catholic League football. 3rd and 8 off the timeout. 1:17 remaining. Oceanside needs a stop to stay in it. That's Fountain. He's had big plays all day, motioning out. And look at Miller wrapping up and throwing down Heydrich. Now again, there's no timeouts left for Oceanside. It is a 4th down.
So you could do 2 things here if you're Massapequa. You're going to run the clock all the way down. You're either going to call timeout and punt from there, from the 42. In the NFL and in college football, you probably take the penalty because the men punting there are professionals and they do it all the time. I'm not sure how you feel about Ryan Heydrich, losing 5 more yards, but you're gonna run it all the way down, and we'll see if they take the timeout or if they. Yep, they've already told them they're going to use the whole clock.
So that is Massapequa's timeout. They have 1 remaining. So 33 seconds left. It would appear, barring anything kind of wild, when we've seen a lot of wild today, that Oceanside will have the ball back. They'll have it back, though, likely with like 30 seconds left and no timeouts and a long field to go. We've talked about Charlie Mckee. Is he the best quarterback on Long Island? He was the Thorpe Award winner last year. These are the situations you want that kind of a guy in. We saw the way that he moved the offense at the end of the first half, right? But that was with 1:20 left.
No disrespect to any other high school quarterback on Long Island, but I don't know who else you'd rather have right now than him right now, quarterbacking your team. And that's like I said, no disrespect to him. Then maybe a boy playing somewhere else is very, very good, but I don't know about, and there probably are a few. But he's one of the very best. And another guy you wouldn't mind having is Ryan Heydrich on the other side, right?
Yeah.
You saw 2 very good quarterbacks here today.
And I think what you have, too, if you're Oceanside, is you've also got the confidence in guys who have been through these wars before, right? How many of these guys that we've talked about are kind of household names in Nassau County, right? Mecca, Kramer, the list goes on and on. Even Hossein comes from the Catholic League from St. Anthony's, and we see what he's done this year.
Here's the decision here, Dylan. Are you gonna go return, or you going block?
I'm going angled kick out of bounds at the 15. Heydrich.
Great punt.
Yeah, it's got to be fair caught and fumbled.
You're gonna have interference on the catch. It's gonna give him some yards, Dylan.
Here we go. Strap in. 26 seconds left. Is there a hero in that huddle?
Well, if you're Massapequa, you can't give up the big one. Can't let it go over the top. You can't let him throw it over the top, over your head for a long one. Give him 10, give him 15, use the clock. It's only 26 seconds. So, 5 seconds of play, you may be looking at 5 plays.
Nothing over the top, but also part of the problem is you've got so many of these guys, or these scat guys, right?
Yep.
Who can go and get in and out of traffic.
Let him throw a bubble. Rally to the bubble right now. Let
Here
him
we
throw
go.
a bubble.
1st and 10 from the 17. No timeouts left for Oceanside. Mckee over the middle. He finds Lyson. He's down to the 30. They'll stop the clock to move the chains. It restarts again. Low snap. Mckee looks this way. Now back the other side. Over the middle. And getting hammered there was Lyson. That was D'Alessandro with the hit.
That's a big hit by D'Alessandro. You can see what he brings to the table all day long. He's a tough kid. And that was a pretty good incompletion right there, because if they would have caught that ball, the clock would have been moving. That's a good incompletion.
2nd and 10. You see at the bottom of your screen, 13 seconds left. Oceanside at their own 30.
Secondary guys, middle school football, nobody passed you.
Quick pass, that's Hossein. And he dances out of bounds.
See right there, Dylan, they traded yardage for clock. That was a 5-second play right there. It was 13 down to 8. They traded, like I said before, about 5 seconds of play. So you're trading yardage for time.
So they're at the 34-yard line with 8 seconds.
Probably have 2 plays left. One of them maybe being the old Hail Mary, throw it up and see if you get a penalty, or like you did down the end zone in the second quarter.
Maybe a little hook and ladder. 3rd and 6. Again, you could stop the clock.
It's happened before.
You could stop the clock on a 1st down. Mckee to Mckee. He does get that 1st down, and he's down to the 44-yard line.
They're just trying to shorten the clock right there so they could throw a bomb to the end zone.
All right, so Mckee drops it. We've got 1 second left.
So the game can't end on a defensive penalty, Dylan. That's a rule of football. Can't end on a defensive penalty. So you gain about 10 yards. You give him a chance to throw it into the end zone. You have Ryan Heydrich back deep. The quarterback's now in the game on defense. He's playing deep safety. And for them, you're going to, knock it down. You have timeout by Massapequa. Talk about it.
You've got to think that's one of the things in that huddle, right? Nothing in terms of a penalty, right, if you're Massapequa. And obviously don't get beat long.
Well, if the ball's not in the end zone, and if you're going to get, and he's going to catch you, and you are going to get beat for a touchdown, then create the penalty, because it's only be 15 yards, not a spot foul in high school. So if you're getting beat deep and the guy's running past you, tackle him and don't let him score. But here there'll be people really, really deep, so that won't be the case. The question is, when the ball's in the air, high pointed, it's half yours and half theirs. That's the issue.
All right, I love the big plays. I love the crazy highlights. So I would like to see, again, with so many of those playmakers out there, you throw a long ball, a little hook and ladder, maybe like a Mckee, Kramer, Hossein.
Anything's possible here. But I don't think is you don't want the game to end on a straight incompletion. You want to try to keep the game alive as long as you can with a second left. It's going to be the last play of the game. Barring a defensive penalty, they'd be given an untimed down.
And Mckee, we know that he's got the arm strength, right? So he can sling it downfield. So deep for Massapequa, you mentioned Heydrich and Fountain as well. Just the 3 men up front.
Oh, yeah. widen out, throw whatever move you got up front, and everybody else just play it deep.
Cairo, Kramer at the bottom of your screen. You got Mecca, Lyson up top. Here we go. Last second. Mckee goes short. There is the hook and ladder. And now it's the band on the field kind of play. And it ends. And Massapequa comes away with the win. 26-21. What a win by the Chiefs. What a game overall.
I'll tell you, you're going to see a better high school football game, but I don't know where and when and how and why. That was tremendous. I'm exhausted. That was great. That was a great game.
You heard it, Mrs. Hungerford. Dinner plans are off, apparently. Mike's got to rest.
No, we're not.
What a game. What a battle between the two best programs in Nassau Conference 1. Oceanside will suffer their first defeat. They are now 3-1. Massapequa improves to 4. And, so many big plays, so many big performances.
Tremendous big performances.
If we had to say a player of the game, it's hard to split it, right? But Ryan Fount came up with so many big plays. But this is our first chance to see Heydrich, right, in person as the QB. He was spectacular.
I think Heydrich was the difference, and I'm not trying to say that he outplayed Charlie Mckee, because he didn't outplay Charlie Mckee, but he equal in a matter of total respect, he equaled Charlie Mckee today. You know what I mean? On each side, right? There's linemen, there's receivers, everyone's playing, but Charlie Mckee, I think, is so good that if someone could equal him, that's some game. He had some game today.
Here's the only request that we have. Let's do this again. One more time with it all on the line out at Hofstra.
Sure. Well, I think, we looked at the schedules before, Dylan, of the two remaining schedules. Both teams will be the favorite, and every game they play from here on out, they would only lose in a massive upset, I do believe, in one of the games. And so you just got to go on about your business and keep winning, and maybe you will hopefully you will get to play again. These two guys play again. There's some other schools like to have something to say about it, I would think.
100%.
But I think, the other schools in the conference say, well, Oceanside lost it. Maybe they can be beat. They can be beaten. They have a little good sign for them. But on the other hand, the team that beat them is very, very, very good.
That'll do it here from Oceanside. I want to thank our crew, our unbelievable crew, Larry Caritney and Ron Pierre, as well as our director extraordinaire, Chris Sweeney. For my broadcast partner, Mike Hungerford, Dylan Butler again reminding you your final score. Massapequa 26, Oceanside 21. This has been the Orland and Cone Game of the Week on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.